It's Friday, July 12th, and this is Drive Check, a CARDFIGHT Vanguard podcast, brought to you by the generosity of our patrons, Curtis McNeill, Mew Will, Alex Cajka, Alan Camacho, and Wesley Welch. And for this week's episode, we're doing things a little bit differently. As you guys all know, or should know if you've been listening the last couple weeks, I recently went to ARG Nationals in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I went with a bunch of friends of mine from my locals. And this episode is essentially just going to be our stories throughout. What I tried to do is I interviewed everyone one-on-one, so there's 5 different interviews, and I kind of went through how they did throughout the tournament. So we'll hear from their perspectives, what they ran, how well they did or how well they did not do, their thoughts on Argent Saga, and stuff like that. So enjoy. Alright, I'm here with Will, who was one of the 5 people who went with me to Atlantic City, New Jersey for the ARG Nationals event.
Yep.
And this whole weekend, it was probably by the time this comes out, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably.
It was an event, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of fun times being had, long drives, etc., etc. This is also the second time that we're recording this because I goofed up and ended up recording on top of what we'd already recorded. So we're going to condense it a little bit more. You'll hear about more of my journeys on the later segments that I record with other people, just because I really don't want to talk about myself again. So, Will, what did we do? We left Thursday morning, and it ended up being like a 12-hour drive to get there. And then we got there Thursday night. We grabbed food. I don't remember where we grabbed food.
Thursday night, I think, we went to Burger King. I think we went to Burger King 3 times while we were in Atlantic City.
Yeah. That was,
probably one of the cheapest places out there, to be honest. Like, I took in one day while we were up there, I went and walked the boardwalk just looking at restaurants, and I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I make good money, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to spend that much.
No, definitely not worth it. I was trying to ball on a budget while I was there, and didn't do too hot with that.
Nah.
But at least I'm not in the hole right now, so that's good.
Okay.
I was. So
Friday.
We Friday you wandered the hall and around the boardwalk right outside.
Yeah,
right.
Well, we didn't wander around the boardwalk right there outside the event. We actually went a little bit further way down because we didn't realize it actually curved behind the hotel the event was at. Because we had walked down a little, like we drove down a little bit of ways past the Oceana and a bunch of the hotels and the casinos down there. Where we had drove, it looked like it was a little neighborhood area type. So like they were still working on the boardwalk in that area. They were still building up ramps to it. So like they had temporary ramps set up. But it was nice. It was really nice. It reminded me a lot of my home back in Jacksonville. So felt good to be there. It felt good to feel the sea on me again.
Yes, I can definitely imagine. Right, and I learned how to play Argent Saga that Friday.
Yeah, like I think playtest. We playtested a couple times. Didn't you? I participated in one of the side events that day.
I did as well. Yeah, I beat you in that side event. It made me feel good.
I was also playing a deck I was unfamiliar with completely. Like, I barely play red. Sad part is I got told after that match that every time somebody else who has played the game before, who has played with red mainly, he told me, dude, you should have won that matchup easily. How did you not? I was like, because I have no clue how to play red, really.
Throw things down and pray.
Well, if we're talking about board control, especially in Argent Saga, red has some of the most board control there is right now because of how much damage they can ping on your opponent's creatures.
Yeah, yes, but it feels like it doesn't have enough, at least in that starter deck.
Yeah, not in the starter deck, which is why when you mix it with the when you mix red and yellow, that's what makes the deck really good.
I did that, and it felt better, but it also didn't feel great. Like, it felt very clunky, and I think I would have been better off if Jojo and I had swapped decks, because Jojo was playing blue-black.
Which you wanted to play, isn't it?
I did not want to play that. I wanted to play white-green, technically, but we didn't really have all the cards for that.
Yeah.
Because there was like 4 of us who were playing white, and we were mixing cards together, and it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I think the only person who didn't have an issue building their deck was me, and that's because I brought my own stuff with me.
Yeah, exactly. And so, let's do Thursday or Saturday first. So what did you play?
I played Deleter Brant. It works really well when you see stuff, but if you don't see your 3s, you kind of die really hard.
Yes, I witnessed that myself as well, but I can totally feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you there.
Like I said in the first time we recorded, my best matchup was the 3rd round, which unfortunately I still lost because Game 1 did okay, Game 2 did not go my way. Game 3, it went my way at first, and then we both hit our 3s, and then it was just like, it went downhill there for me. But other than that, even after I scrubbed out of the tournament, basically, I ended up going and walking boardwalk for a while. Like, I even went out to the pier. I did do a couple things that I've never done before. Like, I went on a Ferris wheel for the first time. The view that you can get from a Ferris wheel is amazing. It's beautiful. Like, I think I took a couple pictures. Like, I haven't put them up on anything yet. They're still on my phone. Probably should do that here soon, but
before it becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff in Jersey that I wouldn't see back where I'm from in Jacksonville. And it takes a lot to go somewhere new sometimes, like especially for me because up until I moved up here, I had lived in Jacksonville my whole life. I had the furthest I've ever been out of Jacksonville was maybe Louisiana, and I didn't even go for fun. I went for work because my job we had to go out there and count. Like, I did an inventory thing before I did what I do now, and we went out there to count inventory, basically. We didn't even go out there to have fun.
You
in
played
Vanguard,
3 rounds?
Yeah, I played 3 rounds. Round 1, I played against Cajka, which is the funny part, because I played test against Cajka before the tournament. Exact same build, too, which is which somewhat upset me, because it was the exact same build. I saw some of the stuff I needed for the match, but I don't know what it was. I saw some stuff I needed to get to 3, and then we continued to play up the match, and my deck was doing okay. It was doing what it was meant to do. And then he wrote his second grade 3, and then for me, for some reason, I don't know what happened after that. Like, my whole deck after that decided, hey, you're not going to see what you need. You're not going to see what you need. You're not going to see what you need.
What's a trigger? What's a trigger?
Well, it's not even that. If I had seen any of my other 3s, been able to rewrite a 3, or even been able to redelete them, I would have won the match. And the dude, he stated it to me after that first game. He was like, dude, if you had seen any of your other 3s, you would have won that match. And I was like, I know.
Yep.
Like, even if I had seen my 4, which would have given me a bigger power boost there, because the 4s, I think, are 14k instead of 13.
Yeah.
If I was able to ride that, I would have been able to guard stuff easier, stuff like that, which means I would have been able to keep more resources in hand, which meant I would have been able to do way more in that match. Round 2, I don't remember what I played round 2. Round 3, I played another Link Joker player.
Did you play any Bermuda?
No, I was about to, and then they actually had that issue where they had to repair.
Right, because TJ joined in.
Well, TJ had a round 1 bye because he had won at 2 different shops for ARG.
And so how ARG does it is if when you win one, you get your invite. When you win another, you get a bye. And if you win another one,
you get another bye.
Yeah.
And he did that, and they had messed up his point totals after the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So we played round 1, he was fine, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. We played round 2, he went and looked at his points after round 2 because he had a bye, and he still showed him having 0 points, and he was like, look, that's not right, I'm about to go say something. So they printed out round 3, everyone sat down, and basically everybody from our group, because we knew it was about to happen, we all told our opponents, look, don't even shuffle your deck, there's no point, there's going to be a repair.
Yeah, I put my deck back into my case, and I was like, okay, I'll just wait here.
Well, I told my opponent, look, if you want, I can shuffle all of this, but I know there's going to be a repair, and she was like, she somewhat insisted on having shuffled everything ready, just in case there wasn't. Which most of us who knew TJ knew there was going to be a repair.
Yeah, there's going to be a repair.
Mainly because I doubt he was the only one who had a round 1 bye who that happened to.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
I feel like his opponent in round 2 was the exact same. Because his opponent in round 2 had 0 points. So it's like, unless his opponent lost round 1 or had a bye round 1, that doesn't seem right. Because he should have played somebody with the same record as him. But we had a repair round 3. So, I was originally going to play Bermudas, and I feel like if I've played against them with my branch leaders. I've beaten them multiple times with my branch leaders, mainly because it's like, go ahead, swing with high power. You're just going to lose your crit, because I know how the deck runs.
Yep.
And I'm just like, cool with it. Swing with that Vanguard with high power with 2 drives. All you get is extra power from that, and I can eat the other 2 attacks.
Yep.
And then on top of that, I was like, go ahead, hit a crit or a heal. If you hit a heal, you take a damage. And if you play against Bermuda right, when they hit their first grade 3, they're either at 4 or 5 damage, which is what you want them to be at, especially if they don't get to go first, unless you're playing Bermuda yourself. If you're playing Bermuda yourself and you get to go first, that's that point where you're just like, yeah, you're going to be at 5 damage or you're going to be dead. Because when you can swing with like an 86 column first grade 3 turn, it's like, yeah, what am I going to do against that?
True. Alright, so you ended up dropping after that round 3?
Yes, I did.
And then what'd you do after that? You went to walk
I went and walked the boardwalk. Because I felt like I would just be a hassle instead of just trying to bug everybody, because I had told all of you that I had dropped already. So I did. I went and walked the boardwalk for a while. I went to the pier. The pier was probably my most eventful thing that I did when I left.
Okay, so then let's move to Argent Saga on Sunday. So, poor TJ, when we got back to the venue, because he made top 8, so he had to actually play.
He had to actually play out, so TJ could not participate in the 10K at all.
Yep.
So, yeah, poor TJ, even though if TJ had played in Argent, unfortunately one of us would not have been playing because we didn't have enough decks, I don't think.
Correct, actually.
Well, yeah, because Jojo actually used TJ's deck.
And I should have used Jojo's, and Jojo should have used mine.
Yeah.
Because I think that our play styles would have been a lot better suited for that. But
yeah,
I just went with the pretty stuff, and it didn't work out.
That is one thing. I forgot to mention this. In the Argent Saga Day, one of the final rounds before the round actually before I dropped out of the Argent Saga tournament, I played against Jordan. I don't think
I did. Yeah,
I did. Because we looked back and said something to you, and you looked over. I don't think you realized it right at first.
Yeah,
but I ended up playing against Jordan that round, and game 1 went completely my way. I opened like straight nuts for my deck. I opened the best hand possible for my deck. I had my 6-drop in hand right away.
Yep.
Didn't have to worry about trying to search for it. And then on top of that, I swung at one of his towers. The first tower I hit was the blue tower on his. So it's like, cool, my 6-drop's open to do whatever it wants when I want. So I waited. I waited for like the perfect opportunity to drop that 6-drop. And I wiped his board out, and then next turn I swung my search drop, which, if anybody's listening and you have played Argent Saga before, you know most of the 6 shots in the game have the skill Destroyer. They attack 2 towers at once.
Yeah.
Which doesn't matter what you're playing. Getting 2 towers hit at once sucks.
Yes. Yes, and they usually have other abilities too.
Yeah.
That make it very good for you if you can get yours out.
Feel like the best 6-drop in the game right now is probably blue 6-drop.
I would agree.
Mainly because it's just like, there's a destroyed blue tower on board. Cool 6-drop arrive skill.
You or your opponent's tower, by the way.
Yeah, sorry about that, but it counts for yours. So let's say yours is destroyed, skill would still activate. Even if your opponent's is destroyed, skill would still activate. But it's arrive. Basically, you target 2 of your opponent's creatures. You send them both back to the bottom of your opponent's deck. And another thing is there's a card in green that says change target to a legal target.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize since the 6-drop says opponent, they can only retarget one of their own creatures.
Right. That ruling came up when you guys were playtesting, I think.
I was playtesting against a player who's playing green-blue, which is another really good deck in the meta right now, especially if you're playing... if it's playing against black-blue, it's really good because it just stops everything black-blue does.
Yes.
It doesn't care.
I can see that.
But the deck is... the green-blue is really nice. It's just... They have a card in their deck that's, I think it's like a 3-mana drop card. You pay it says change target to a legal target. And the kid went to play it on me and was like, so this says opponent's creatures. Since these are my creatures, you're technically redirecting the target of my target skill.
Right.
So you cannot target these. They are not legal creatures. It has to be an opponent, so it has to be one of your own. So, because it doesn't change the effect, it still states opponent.
Yes, it just... You change the target of your opponent's creature, or of your own creatures being targeted. Anyway, yes. So you were playing blue-white, which folks, what's that deck do?
A lot of counters. Because white has a card in it called Holy Slash. It's just like, an attacking creature, pay 2 mana, it's dead.
Yes.
And then of course, if you play the game, everybody knows this card, Shards of Exhaustion. The 4-drop blue card that's just like cool on place. It doesn't target anything. It just exhausts all your creatures. You can't change the target. Nothing. It just exhausts everything. The only thing it doesn't exhaust is if you're playing red. It does not exhaust your champion. I found that out.
It just says units. Champions aren't units, right?
Technically they're not, but I asked about the ruling on it because of the red champion skill. Because the red champion skill, it can exhaust itself and pay 1 mana to search out a dragon.
Right.
So I actually asked the judge about it to make sure it does not hit the champion. Mainly because it does say unit. And even though he does exhaust himself, it doesn't count as a unit, even if he were to do that skill.
Right.
So I did better on the Argent Saga 10K event than I did in the Vanguard event.
I did about the same, personally.
In both.
Well, worse, really, because my first 2 games were against people who actually knew how to play the game already.
Oh, so you had really bad luck.
Yeah. It was just really not fun, and not something I wanted to spend the next couple hours, because there were so many people that signed up. I think it was like 300 something.
I think the final total, supposedly, before they did the thing where they did to where if people didn't show up, they didn't get to play.
Right.
I think it was like, what they said, it was like 320 something players.
Yeah.
For one event, which overall the whole weekend, that was the biggest event they had. Like
sense.
None of the other events were that big.
Yeah.
Because Vanguard was like 120 something players. Dragon Ball was like almost 200. Pokemon was less. Force of Will was way less.
10 people. It's very small.
The team event, there was only 2 teams. The team event Friday, because they had a team event Friday, there were only 2 teams, so both teams played out to see who got the championship match. And then I think it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday for the actual Nationals event. I think they had about maybe 15 players. Because Argent Saga, towards the end of the day, Argent Saga needed more tables to do more tournaments. Because Argent Saga was doing tournaments all 3 days.
Yes.
They were doing little side events and stuff. And on the second day, Saturday, we actually had to go jank tables from the Force of Will tournament.
Right.
To go set them up and help the Argent players.
I remember this now. So how many rounds did you play?
I think I played for Argent. I think I played a total of maybe 5. Because we started at, 10, if I remember correctly?
Yes. Well, more like 11, but yeah.
Yeah, but we started... I didn't technically finish until... I think it was 5 was my last round that I participated in. Which,
yeah, right.
Which would be 5 rounds because the rounds are 50 minutes.
Yes.
Fortunately, though, I did not get to play against the Bounty. I was so hoping to play against the Bounty because I get a lot of people who weren't interested in what the Bounties were actually giving out if you beat them because they were giving out a pin. Like the ARG pins or stuff that you can get. And I was like, I really like this game. I want one. I want to try and play a Bounty. I want to try and beat this Bounty. Because I feel like if I could have beaten a Bounty that day, it would show how much about the game I actually know. Compared to stuff I don't.
Yeah, I played a Bounty, and I got my butt kicked, and then I dropped. That's how that went.
Oh, that was your last round? You played a Bounty?
Well, sorry, I played 3 rounds then, technically. Played 3 rounds. I had a bye. Oh, because, that's right. So I lost. I got destroyed in my first game, then I got a bye for my second. Then going into the 3rd round, I played against the Bounty and got my butt kicked there. And then I dropped, and then I was waiting for everyone else to drop. TJ and I went on our own little adventure to get food.
Yeah.
And then came back and ended up getting...
the chance to play for the medal card.
Right. So that was like a raffle in order to play for the medal card. So I'd play against another person on stream. Stream wasn't set up because... miscommunication. They'd already taken it down.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. I don't really want to get into the whole game because it was not a good. Not a good thing.
I watched that game from the sidelines because, like, through his first game in the round in Argent Saga that my last round in Argent Saga had ended. Mm-hmm. And I walked over there, and me and TJ were actually watching. We walked over there and watched a couple of different times, and we saw what you were playing. Like, I couldn't tell what you were playing against. I think you were playing against Blue-Black.
Correct. Wait, no, Black-Blue.
Oh, Black-Blue. My bad.
Black-Blue.
But Black-Blue is also currently one of the top decks in the meta for Argent Saga right now out of the alpha decks. The deck is really good and really annoying at the same time.
Yep. And, All right, I'll get into it now. So, I was playing against him. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I just wanted to go home. And so I told him up at the event thing, when we got called up, I said that if you win the first round, I'll just scoop the next 2 and you can have it. And then we agreed on that, and then, sort of agreed, and kind of got ushered into the actual event area, staging area. And then they brought in an official judge over because it was going to be streamed, so they wanted to make sure all the rules were right and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then, we started to play, and then, man, the guy just pissed me off to no avail. Like, rule sharking to the extreme, not contradicting, but like going over the head of one of the judges on a ruling that the judge already made, and it was a nightmare playing. Plus, he was playing so slow that I'm playing. It's not like a super complicated deck. I was playing red-white, so I call big dumb dragon dudes, and I kill your other units, and then I that's just what I do.
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and almost every other card that I played, he had a question on or whatnot, and so my turns would be done. I'd put my cards down, and I would just be chilling, waiting. 5 minutes or a couple minutes would go by, and then it'd be my turn again. And then it would just keep going back and forth. And he pissed me off so much that I wanted to make him work for that card. Yeah. So I lost the first game, won the second game, destroyed in the second game, and then the third. Kids, this is an important lesson in card games in competitive area. Keep track of your opponent's cards as well. So there are ways to generate tokens in this game. There are different kinds of tokens.
Yeah,
so,
there's a total of 3 different tokens you can get. There's a black token that is a 1,500 base token. It does not have any special skills. It's just a golem token that gets summoned by the black champion.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are 2 other ones. They're both yellow. They're both technically the same guardian. It's just you get them 2 different ways.
There's a blue one as well. That gives you 2 500.
There's the 2. My bad. There's the 2 500 guardians as well from blue. It's a spell that you can play. It gives you 2 500 guardian tokens.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 2 basically the same token. It's just the way you get it's 2 different ways.
Right.
One you get it by getting your white tower destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
The other you get it by doing your the white spirit's soul burst effect.
Which, yeah, that's a whole thing. Which might go in later. Talk about that later. But so I did that, and he was trying to rule shark me on the whole soul burst thing as well, which that was not appreciated when you just read the card.
I've actually talked to multiple judges about it, especially since I won a judge for the game.
Uh-huh.
If you do the white soul burst effect, it changes field, which resets priorities, which means you get another chance to guard.
That's what they were saying. Okay.
Because it changes the field to where there's now another guardian on board. There's no longer nothing on board. There's now a guardian on board, which means you now have priority to guard with it if you want.
Yes.
The attack does not continue. It resets the attack mainly because there's something that can stop the attack that hits board.
Correct. Which is weird, but makes sense. And that took about 5 minutes to resolve that.
Because what was he? He was trying to rule shark you on it, wasn't he?
Well, okay, so he was attacking me. I was just going to immediately soul burst, bring it out, and guard with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just sack each other's guardian tokens. Essentially, it's all that would do.
Yeah.
And he didn't think that I could A, do that as a response, and B,
still guard with it.
Still guard with it immediately. So, and basically, I didn't know this exactly, but yeah, the priority reset as soon as I created it. So he still has that. Basically, it canceled its attack, and then he can attack again with it. Like, he didn't actually go through with it.
Yeah.
So it paused his attack, I guess is better. So he could have done that. So that was a good learning opportunity, but the way that he went about it, it was just so irksome. And then, then we get to, the golem tokens. So he was playing black, blue, which created the golem tokens.
Yep.
And he created golem tokens, but he didn't mark those golem tokens.
Which you're supposed to do, which is actually a ruling they had to explain to somebody. I found this out after we left.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a ruling they had to explain to somebody who came close to topping. You have to mark the power that most of the golems have, mainly because of some of the cards in the red deck that state, okay, I'm going to kill this creature and it's going to deal X amount of damage equal to the power of the creature you destroy.
This is where that comes important, because my big green, not big green, my big red dragon,
6-drop,
I sacked my own guy with 15 power. I thought that those tokens were 2,000.
Because he didn't mark them.
And I knew that he'd gotten one token earlier that was 2,000, and it just didn't occur to me
that they were the 15 guards.
They would be the 15. So those would have been gone. And then also, like, my sacked unit that I had a ruined ability, which, when it dies, it does something.
If I remember correctly, it was probably the exploding dragon. When he dies, you target target unit, deal 1,000 damage.
Yes. And I didn't realize I could have done that. So that could have further cleared off his board, and then I could have swung in next turn. But I didn't realize that. And so when I went to attack the rested token that should have been destroyed, or I wanted to attack the tower first, and then, like, immediately after I said that, I said, wait, no, I actually want to attack that token instead.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, he rule sharks you on it.
He's like, but I already said sure to your you attacking the tower. And then I was like, but I just want to change the target to the token. He'd be like, I already said sure, so you can attack the tower. And the judge behind me was like, dude, it's a casual event. It's not hyper competitive. You don't have to do that. He's like, but I already said sure to that. So I was like, I'm done with this. Fine. I will attack your tower and die next turn. And that's what happened. And pretty sure I got a sympathy mat from the people who were like running the area back there?
No, I actually found out after that. Anybody who played in that played for the medal card because they had 4 medal cards that we were playing for. Anybody who lost was getting a mat anyways, mainly because they did get a raffle.
Yes.
It wouldn't be fair if you got the raffle and got nothing.
I got 2 mats though.
Well, you got the mat. We got mats for entering the big tournament, mainly because we actually showed up.
I got 3 mats then.
Well, didn't you get one from the side event?
4 mats. I came in with 4 mats. One was the side event. One was for actually entering the main 10K thing. One was because I lost the raffle, so I might as well get something else. And I got the mat that we were playing on too, as a sympathy thing. I'm pretty sure. From someone else. He's like, who won, who lost? Okay, so you have this mat as well. So
that's nice.
Yeah, and it's got like stream information on it on the side as well. So
nice.
That was our weekend. It was eventful, painful, long weekend.
Oh yeah.
Would you do it again?
Yes, but a different hotel.
We'll leave that there. But yes, different hotel. All right. Thank you for joining me, Will.
No problem.
Would you like anyone to reach you anywhere?
If it's about Vanguard, sure. I've got Facebook, William Durbin, Durbin.
Okay. And that'll be it for this little mini interview, and we'll move on to the next one.
All right.
Alright, I'm here with Jojo, who we've had on a couple episodes ago now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were with Jordan, Jalen, and me talking about the last ARG that we all went to. And today we're going to talk about the ARG Nationals, which happened probably at the time of recording a week ago. By the time this is put up, probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I kind of already went over a little bit of the trip going up with Will. So I drove the 12 hours that it took to get up here. And there's like some toll road kerfuffles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is real fun to deal with. But then we got there Thursday night and we had food and then we went to bed. And then Friday morning, what did you do?
Friday morning, basically woke up, got dressed.
Mm-hmm.
We figured out food because going to Atlantic City on a poor boy budget is like both fun but not great. But luckily, Target is like a godsend. It's right, Walmart. I'm cheating on you. Deal with it. Also, kids, never wear a like black pinstripe suit to the West Coast. It was, while I looked dapper, it was very hot, and I was suffering inside, and yeah.
Oh, so that was your own choice.
It was. I wanted to look nice while I played children's card games.
Okay, so you wore your suit the entire weekend.
Yeah.
You were a brave man for that. That looked hot and uncomfortable. Well, you looked dapper, super dapper the entire weekend, but it did not look comfortable.
Yeah, no. Like, the heat was getting to me, especially in a closed off room full of however many warm bodies playing card games. It's like, okay.
A very small hotel room.
Oh God, let's not.
We're not talking about the hotel room.
We're not spilling tea.
Not spilling tea on that hotel room, but it was not the best. Okay, so Friday, you learned how to play Argent Saga, right?
I did.
Same as me. Yeah, and I was telling Will how you and I probably should have swapped decks Sunday.
Yeah, I basically ended up playing Argent Saga version of Grand Blue, and he ended up playing Argent Saga version of Royal Paladin.
Yeah.
We did clan swap.
Yeah, or like Royal Paladin Kagero sort of combo. But yeah, I was bored out of my mind playing that deck. I thought it would be tons of fun. No.
Really? Because I had difficulties trying to keep track of, okay, I milled this. What can I do with that later? It's like, is this what it feels like to play a mill deck? Because I hate this.
But I mean, you kind of play a mill deck with Great Nature, though.
That's different, though. At least I'm not being like, okay, what can I revive later out of my mills?
Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, I wish I tried the blue-black. I didn't want to play it because I thought that it was going to be, like, complicated, I guess. But, just, like, thinking about how the red-white played, different than my expectations, not enough of the control removal aspect that I expected red to be, and there wasn't enough white in there to satisfy my, like, how I play Magic, so I did not have a great time playing that, but we'll get to that when we get to Sunday. So that's essentially all we did Friday, was just learn to play Argent Saga.
Made a new friend that Cole didn't recognize.
And I saw him multiple times throughout the week, and I should have stopped and said hello, and I've been kicking myself ever since, like, so hard. You sat down and talked to Mr. Negative Legend on the YouTubes.
I did, and he was a very pleasant conversation. He signed my Pencil Knight Hamscape for me, and what's even funnier is, like, Cole literally walked by, and he was like, I see how it is, you make friends when I'm not around. It's like, I mean, if you had come over and talked to us.
Well, okay, so if I had not just entered the side event for Argent Saga, I would have been over there, because you and I and Jordan were making chaotic decks.
Yeah.
I wanted to play with you guys that game over the weekend, and that's what attracted him to come talk to you, because he saw the chaotic stuff.
Yeah, he was boy crushing over your chaotic stuff. You could have had a chance.
Yeah, I've seen his collection on. I think he's got a better one. Anyway, yeah, I'm still really upset. But he was out there because Argent Saga. I don't know if they flew him out there or not, but like he was a sponsor, I guess. He was sponsored at that event to kind of promote it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what most people who see a 20-something who has a decent internet following does.
Influencer. I'm an influencer right now. Yeah.
Yes, with all 9 of your subscribers on YouTube.
Alright, hey. We're getting there. I need more time to do stuff. That's a side quest then. We're worried about the main quest. Okay, so that was pretty much Friday. And so Saturday morning, it's the big national tournament. What did you play?
So, I played Royal Paladin. I played my signature Alfred deck with my weird, quirky techs and all.
Mirubiru and Shiftgall.
Yep, which apparently is not a favorite of Senpai and Mama, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get to that later if we have time. And what got me is, like, all day Friday when we were having practice games, it ran perfectly. I saw the combos I needed. I was, like, rushing down, going for phase. Life was great. Saturday happened. My first match against Murakumo. Oh my god, if I could, like, describe the lack of pieces I saw, it was terrible. And what was even, like, more, like, insult to injury is he was not worried about locking down my Vanguard so it couldn't restand. He kept me trapped on my first Alfred ride constantly. For those of you who don't know how current Royal Paladin plays, you want to be switching up Alfreds. You want to ride King of Knights first, then go into Monarch. Like, if you get stuck on Monarch, that's okay. You fix that later, and then you proceed as follows. Try being stuck on one, and even worse, seeing a full Excel board and just holding Exculpate in your hand and being like, this would have been great to deal with my problems right now.
But that Murakumo player went on to make top 4. Or top 8. He topped. So I don't feel as bad. I wouldn't feel as bad about losing that match, I think, because guy had some skills to get up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. To like brave the fish meta and the dragon meta and say, nah, screw the rules. I am just going to lock all of your abilities. That takes guts.
And apparently, TJ ended up playing him. Spoiler alert: TJ got second, so he had to beat that guy. But he played him. I don't remember TJ saying he has Zangeki at all. So I think it might have just been a Zanbaku Shiryuki kind of combo, which is interesting. Okay, so you not being able to find your pieces is very similar to Will and my experience, which is really weird. The only difference is I didn't see my pieces at all that day, and I barely practiced beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So you and Will had practiced quite a bit, and everything was coming out cherries, like working out very well. That's weird. It doesn't work. Never mind. But that was working out very well for you. So how well did you do that day?
I did not do very well. I think anytime I got a win, it was out of 3 games. My record was either 1 win, 2 loss, or no win, 2 loss. And what got me is, luckily I had avoided Bermuda Triangle all day. Round 4, not only do I find Bermuda Triangle, I find it's like Underloved Sister, the Highlander build. And I was like, okay, this shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Yeah. Unparalleled ingenuity Laura. Yeah, no, she's a very
special lady.
She's a very special lady.
That's the one that lets you restand, right?
No, that's the one where if you reveal 10 different units, you rebuild a board.
Oh, right.
Guess what I did the turn before that? I exculpated their board after he wrote a Nezca. I was just like, so that's what she does. And she gives them 10k. It's like, guess I die.
Yeah, I guess I die now.
It's like, oh my god. I put up some good fights despite having to work around not seeing pieces in a certain order, which people will be quick to tell you Royal Paladin is a helmet deck. I beg to disagree. At least my Royal Paladin deck is not a helmet deck. It's like, there are some combos you can do, and there are some cute little maneuvers you can do. I wouldn't recommend doing them, especially in
highly competitive.
Yeah, but you do what you can do when you're like stuck, you can't see anything. I think my favorite one was I was grade locked and I was stuck on grade 1 and I drew K. Basically what K does is when he's placed on the field, counterblast 1, I can search out his husband Bedivere from the deck in Superior Column. So me still being stuck on my grade 1 turn, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be cute. Be cute? Be cute. Call K, counterblast 1, Superior Call of grade 2. It's like, pressure! Take this 24, just take it please.
On the grade 1 turn, oof. That's rough, that's hard to guard.
On a second grade 1 turn, because they should be, like, going first and not hitting your grade 2. They're about to hit grade 2 next turn. It's like, okay, I'm going to be behind, but at the very least, I can mitigate this somewhat.
Yeah, that's rough. I had a very similar experience, but the only difference between your experience and my experience was the only win. I got 2 wins that entire 2 or 3 wins. Anyway, that entire day, and one was to an Oracle Think Tank player, who that was our last. We were sitting right next to each other, and we were both playing against Oracle Think Tank.
Yeah.
And that was my most fun match that entire weekend. She was just awesome. I think her name was Carla. But yeah, she kicked butt. She used CEO Amaterasu in a very different way. She like pumped her up because she just kept checking the top and just kept basically made CEO Amaterasu a beat stick, a really strong beat stick. Also, sorry about the fireworks. Thought that they were done when we started to record, but we were wrong. This isn't even 4th of July, by the way.
Happy late Independence Day, everybody.
Yeah, woo. And I ended up tying against Aquaforce. Neo Nectar tied against Aquaforce. Let's just let that sink in a little bit.
To be fair, your Neo Nectar build was like something pretty different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like super out of the ordinary, but it's definitely different from most Neo Nectar builds.
And I should not have made it different. I should have just kept with what I knew and went with that. Or borrowed Wilson or TJ's Kagero. That would have definitely helped. But instead, I decided to play with what I knew. And it was not a good decision on my part. But and then we'll move to Sunday. And Sunday was the Arch and Saga 10K. And like we were talking about earlier, I ran red-white, and you ran blue-black?
Blue-black.
Blue-black. And in Arch and Saga, it's actually important which color goes first, because the first color that you name in your deck has the majority of that deck is made up of that color. And then the second color, you only have 0 or 8 of them. Which is really confusing, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But how many wins did you get?
Ha! 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 Oh, that's cute. I scrubbed hard.
Yeah. So I did as well. I think was it 2 or 3 rounds did you last?
I lasted 2 rounds. Basically, I lost my first round, and my second round I got paired up against Jared of all people, and it's like, you know what? And we were both contemplating, like, do we drop?
Oh, that's the one I was encouraging you guys to draw, but they made that game like almost impossible to draw with, so there had to be a winner.
Yeah.
But
So basically me and Jared are just like basically going full helmet with our cards. It's like, just drop stuff, maybe something will happen.
That was funny. You guys played long enough. I had enough time to go to TJ to get pho and bring it back and burn my tongue because I added the noodles to the carry out pho, but it was too much and it was gonna overflow. So I took one for the team and I like slurped it up, but I burned my tongue. Some really good pho though.
It was.
Okay, so I won 1 round because I had a bye in ARG Saga. So, and then I lost to one of the bounty people. And bounties were a really cool idea. But my biggest problem with this tournament, this Sunday tournament, 10K tournament, was the fact that you had people who've been playing since day 1 versus people who just learned yesterday.
Right.
And it really put me off the game to go against someone who's been playing since day 1 because they just outmaneuvered me hands down.
I also feel like it was a big mistake to make it a 10K tourney. It's like, if you're gonna throw that much money as like the end game that you're fighting for, of course the people who are there for like casual fun are gonna get stomped out by the prize hunters. It's like, it just how they went about it. It's like, could have been so much better. I understand the idea behind it, what they were going for. Did not stick the landing.
I would agree. I wonder how many people are actually interested in the game after this. Because I have lost interest until I see actual not real life, but like the main set cards in play and in my hands. I'm staying away from Argent Saga. I think the game has some potential, but I think it's going to take a little bit before it catches up to itself.
I am going to miss the incomplete arted cards.
That's a real heavy sigh on my part.
So, I want you guys to picture this. Try playing a trading card game where, like, only 50% of the cards are finished. The rest of them is just finished concept artwork just slapped on, like, a card. Mm-hmm. And, like, you've got the effects and stuff, but, like, 50% of your deck is just white background and sketches, and you're like, is this the card that I'm looking for? Maybe, I'm not sure.
In red, there are 2 cards that look very similar, and they're both dragons, and I think they both have the same amount of power. I think the same cost, but they do different things when they're played. One's like a ruined ability, and the other is like an arrive. So arrive is enter the battlefield, or, on place effect, and ruin is when it dies, its effect happens. Mm-hmm. But they look very similar. And it was part of the reason why I didn't have fun is because the cards weren't finished. And it didn't it felt like we were testing the game, even though the game should be done and printed right now.
Yeah, basically we were all a bunch of, like, test subjects that was basically competing for a paycheck.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. And I think we weren't testing the game necessarily. We were testing the tournament structure and how that could work. Because they had so many end of match rules, like to find out who is the victor. Mm-hmm. They had thought about almost every possible situation, which is neat, but really not fun when you're like the tournament starting and then you're going through all 6 different conditions for to find out who wins. But
what I found interesting was they basically set it up as best 2 out of 3 games, 50 rounds. Game 1 takes about 35-40 minutes of that 50-minute round, so it's like it also didn't help that, like, the judges were nice. They encouraged you to ask questions. Mm-hmm. But again, it's like we were basically beta testers seeing what weird card interactions did what and how it had to be ruled for future proof.
Yes. So that was...
Like, you could do so much that you wanted, because there were some things where at that point I was less concerned about would I be allowed to do this and it makes sense ruling wise, and just be like, does this make sense based on what's written in the card? Look, let's put it like this. It was basically Duelist Kingdom of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they were just making up stuff as they went along.
But to a less dramatic extent.
I don't know, fam. It's like, if I had said I attacked the moon and, like, your deck just, like, goes to 0 and I get 3 backflips, there's nothing you can do about it, that's game. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. So how did you feel about the actual game itself?
Coming from somebody who has played Magic the Gathering and it's not his cup of tea, I was like, okay, this is definitely cute. This is definitely innovative. But I don't have, for lack of better words, the enormous hard-on for it everybody else has.
Right. I don't think it's as fun as people think it is. I think that there's something there. It's a resource management game, and I'm not huge on those, but a lot of people like them. I personally would just rather play Vanguard.
Same. It's like, if I'm going to play a resource management card game, Vanguard is not only simpler, but it's also, like, more straightforward and to the point. Mm-hmm. It's like, you've got Counterblast, Soul Blast, and, like, you have to keep track of your hand and your deck and the board you build. like, not hard. Like all these extra things, like you've got like you've got a deck for shards and this and.
How many times did you almost draw from your shard deck instead of your actual deck, or vice versa?
Oh God! Draw shard. You're picking up from your like main deck. I'm sorry. Like I have so many decks, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh. And like on the official playmat, the decks are right underneath each other, so it's really confusing. That they should have been separate, like on separate sides. But that's my opinion. I mean, obviously you can move it over there. It's fine. That's not a big deal. But yeah, and I already went over my my showcase game.
With the Yu-Gi-Oh player.
With the Yu-Gi-Oh player, I already went over that. So let's just not open that wound right now.
But
he was not fun. Not fun. I thought he would be chill. But then we started to play, and then I realized very quickly that I don't want you to win, so I'm gonna make you earn this win.
So for those of you who don't know, Cole's chill when it comes to card games, but once the petty kicks in, the petty kicks in.
Yeah, I'm a pushover most of the time, but when you set me off,
Good on the judges though for trying to be like, hey, this is a casual game, relax, dude.
Yes, I very much so liked the Argent Saga judges.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all did a really good job, and they were all on top of it, so that was nice. When we get to Jordan and TJ, we'll talk about the FINA fiasco, because they had first-hand experience with that.
I'm just saying, if we weren't going by Bushy rules, I could have been playing Arc Saber Dragon, and I could have been calling face down blasters like nobody's business.
Just play Shadow Bell and retire the Vanguard. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Still Vampire version 2.0.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Any other last-minute thoughts? Did you enjoy playing at such a large tournament?
Absolutely, like, definitely some things I would have preferred them to do differently, but like each of my opponents, they were pretty nice to talk to. They were pretty chill to play against.
Yeah.
I think my favorite game was the last match because, yeah, after a certain point, me and Cole were just like stuck together. We were at like the Scrub Kids table just constantly.
Right next to each other, back and forth.
Like, while he was having his Oracle Think Tank match, I was having my Oracle Think Tank match. And basically, the player was dumbfounded that Royal Paladin was keeping up with Oracle Think Tank.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 6 draw triggers will definitely do that for you. Especially when it's like, I'm tired, I need a drink. I just want you to catch these crits, fam.
Catch these plant hands, homie.
Oh my god. Other than that, we definitely need to like do some better
playtesting practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, try other decks too. That would help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so any last words before we end your segment?
Have fun, enjoy yourself. Remember, these are just games. Like, even if, no matter how high of a competitive level you go for, just remember the first and foremost, you're there to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you want to dress nice, at least like dress for the weather.
Dress for the weather and bring some spares.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
All right. Would you like anyone to find you online?
Yeah, for those of you who like artwork, I post doodles because I am an artsy potato. You can find me on Twitter at JordanTB94 under World of Comics. I post little doodles from time to time. I'm trying to post storyboards because I'm wanting to start posting comics.
That Arc Saber comic that you had was awesome.
What am I looking at?
Oh, that was so good. You posted that on Vanguardians, I think, right?
Yes.
Oh, if
So-
you can find that.
So if anybody is on Vanguardians and you liked that, that's the kind of mess you get with me.
It's a good mess. It's a good mess, that's for sure. All right. So we'll head out of here and move on to the next interview then.
Bye, Internet.
Alright, I am here with TJ, and this is, I don't remember which one I've recorded right now, but he ended up being, spoiler alert, second place.
Yep.
First loser.
Yeah.
Of the ARG Vanguard, the standard Vanguard event. And so we're going to kind of go through and talk about how he did over the weekend, mostly, focusing on his Vanguard, because he never got a chance to play Argent Saga.
No. I've played it before, but...
Like in the
in the 10K.
Oh.
I wish that would have...
Man, you weren't actually there. You guys had left. You and Jordan had left before the results of my match.
Oh, I heard about it.
You heard about it.
I heard about it.
Oh, I think we'll probably be talking more in depth on that. But let's start with you and Jordan. When did you guys get in?
We decided to leave that Thursday night because we decided, you know what, it makes more sense for us to get there before everybody else, just so we can have the hotel room ready and we're not waiting for anybody, you know. So we left Thursday night, got there Friday morning about, and then, well, Friday afternoonish because traffic, rush hour, took some wrong turns here and there, but...
As you do.
Yeah.
And
so,
tolls.
Tolls. We're not talking about tolls. Forget Jersey. Forget those tolls. Or avoiding them next time.
Yeah, it only added 2 more hours.
Only? Well...
It's a long 2 hours.
Yeah. Especially when with 2 people in the car, it's not bad, but when you have 4, that's what makes it worse.
Yeah, one of them couldn't drive. Actually, I didn't let anyone else drive going up anyway.
Yeah, you're fired for that.
It wasn't bad. I wasn't tired at all because we took stops every couple hours, so it was broken up. It was fine. Plus, I was getting motion sick with my driving, so I couldn't imagine anyone else's. I didn't have that on the way back though, so that was good.
Okay. Yeah. See, so at least that works out. You got all your motion sickness on the way up. Back down,
exactly.
It was all gone.
Yeah, and Jojo is a heck of a driver, even going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I didn't expect that. Calm, cool, and collect the entire way.
That's why we let him drive it out. When we went to Atlanta, we let him take over in the city because if not, we were going to kill people.
Road rage.
No, it's not road rage. The people in Atlanta can't drive worth crap.
I mean, you can't in Atlantic City anyway.
Well, yeah, let's not even talk. That's where...
We'll leave that there.
That's where Snooki is, so that's where we'll go.
Okay, so... Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday we came in and we got there that night. And then Friday we went to the hall or the convention, whatever it was being held, the event hall.
Right. In Jersey at the Showboat Hotel.
Right. I never actually said that, the Showboat Hotel.
Yeah, the Showboat Hotel,
which used to be a casino. Not a casino anymore.
Nope, the hotel now, and had a real big venue.
Yep.
Which was pretty good. I'll give ARG that. They found a good spot there, big enough to hold everybody.
With room to spare.
Yeah, a lot of room. So, I mean, I'll give them that. There was a lot more room than I actually expected. I thought we would be stuck in not a big room, but also not small, but we were in a pretty big room. I think we held probably over 1,000 players for every card game combined, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
Because
pretty close to it, at least.
Because I didn't see a cap online of how many for each game, so I think we held over a good amount of 1,000 players. Mm-hmm. And that's for Yu-Gi-Oh!, DBS,
Force of Will. All 10 people.
Yeah. Vanguard, Ardent Saga all weekend too, but
yeah,
we'll get to that later on because that's going to be an interesting thing to talk about.
Okay, so we were just cruising around looking at all the vendors and stuff that day, not doing much. You taught me how to play Ardent Saga that day.
Yep.
And that was basically it.
Yeah.
Didn't do too much that day. I mean,
built chaotic decks. I
started. I still haven't finished.
Yeah.
But so that happened, and then for Saturday, that was
Saturday morning. That's when the whole tournament began. Ran into a few issues, but we got them resolved as soon as we got there. So, I mean, other than that, No, not a big deal. I mean, took like 5 seconds to do. Just nobody would do it, but...
Because you got a first round bye.
So I was supposed to have a round 1 bye now. So this is where it got all messed up. So they post round 1 pairings. They said, find your seats, get ready for round 1. Okay. They didn't put me in for a round 1 bye. Apparently I was paired against somebody and they gave me a loss.
Okay, so I have a question about that.
Sure.
So, Sunday for ARG Saga,
Right.
they had a practice pairing, I guess, so they would line everybody. Oh, they would pair us up essentially. Right. We'd sit down, and then that way they can mark who's here, who's not, and whatnot. And they knew who was playing what and who was actually there. So why couldn't they do that for Vanguard? Not as many people, I understand, but still. Because
the way I see it, I think they won't do it for every card game. For the fact is, because ARG Saga, you were not able to. They already had a list, so if you went up and pre-regged, your name was already checked off. You should be there. Blah blah blah. That's how they probably did it. But for Vanguard, the way I see it is they wouldn't. I don't think they would check it because the fact is, it's really probably more difficult for them to do it for Vanguard versus ARG Saga because that's their own game they're supporting. Yeah. And they're only providing support for companies in their other games.
Right. And they had their own special match slips and whatnot.
Right.
For ARG Saga.
So I think what they were trying to do with it being their first big major tournament, they wanted to make sure that the numbers they had matched up, or at least were close enough to where they didn't end up getting messed up in the end. So that's probably why they did it, to check everybody, because they wanted to make sure that their numbers were right, or if something was wrong, it was something they were able to fix before they posted round 1 and started. So it didn't have a lot of no-shows, which I think already happened anyway later on.
Yeah.
Down the line anyway. So, I mean...
They had a lot of people who didn't show up. I think they had like 300 or so registered, but only about 200 tables filled up.
Yeah. So I mean...
Still a lot, but...
I mean, for a 10K, I mean, a lot of people in that tournament I know only played in it because it was a free entry if you got your invite for any other TCG. I know a lot of people entered just for that. I don't think anybody actually knows it was a 10K. Some did, some didn't, but it's free, so that's the only reason I'm playing it.
Yeah.
For a few people.
I mean, they broadcasted it was a 10K throughout the entire weekend, so it'd be hard not to. But anyway, so Vanguard.
Yes.
You had your first round bye. I ended up playing against Bermuda, and I got my butt kicked. My first 2 rounds, actually, so that pretty much eliminated me right there.
Yeah, I mean, the way I think the tournament went, a lot of people did start dropping after X2, so a lot of people could have bubbled in still with the fact of people dropping throughout the tournament. Yeah. And like round 1, I was supposed to have a round 1 bye, but they put me in as a loss because apparently I was paired. Going to round 2, I did play against Neo Nectar. So...
There was another Neo Nectar besides me?
There was another Neo Nectar besides you.
Did they do better? Did they actually see Cecilia?
Oh, they saw Cecilia. They didn't see triggers, though.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah. And when they did see triggers, it didn't matter at the time. So, I mean, playing round 2, beat Neo Nectar with the game 3, I believe. So we did that. Going to round 3, I played against... What did I play? I played against Kagero. I'm pretty sure I played against Kagero. And as far as my memory goes. And before round 3 was posted, I think, or after, I checked my points. My points were wrong. So I told the judge my points are wrong. He told me to go up to the scoring booth to get that fixed. And they said they put me in for a loss in round 1. I'm like, I wasn't even on the pairing sheet. And they told me I was paired against this person. And they put me in as a loss. So I'm like, I have a round 1 bye from from winning a circuit series. They said, do you have proof? Pulled up the list and it says round 1 bye right with my name. Yeah. So they fixed it and caused the repair. Ended up playing against Kagero. And it wasn't Waterfall Kagero. It was Dual Axe Kagero with the Dual Axe promo. That was an interesting match because you would believe all Kagero players would be playing Waterfall for the no Sentinels and for the
extra power and crit
just to win games. No, I fenced Dual Axe, and what was sad about the Dual Axe is he rode the Dual Axe. I have 4 Karos on board. he dual-axed me, got rid of all my Caros. I'm like, oh, so it's this game. So we kept playing. I still ended up having big enough numbers to push for the win, and I was able to hit triggers as well to help at the same time. Mm-hmm. But when he retired all 4 of my Caros, I was like, oh, this is going to be a longer game than it should be. Mm. If it was Waterfall, probably would have been different because then I would have actually had to think about it. But the thing about dual axes, if you know they're going to play dual axe, if you can guard early against it, that guard with 2 cards at the same time skill afterwards does not matter whatsoever. Because it's, I'm going to take the Vanguard, see what I hit. If I don't hit nothing, at least take one of the rear guards if it doesn't have a crit. But then you're going to have to guard the last one. You're going to assume guard with 2 more cards anyway because 9 times out of 10 is going to swing for at least 33 or higher. That's with the force marker and with a boost or with something. Mm-hmm. And with you being only 13k base with no defensive triggers, 1 card off ain't going to do it.
Right.
So that's what we did. Then going to round 4, I played against OTT. And this ain't your normal Imperial CEO deer. This is your Magus OTT. So we played Imperial. He played Imperial, which is fine. He played Hexagonal Magus. And then there was Pentagonal Magus in there. So
interesting.
I said, since was a CEO. He rode Hexagonal twice. He rode Imperial. He did ride a Pentagonal as well at one of the games. He got the 5 checks. He ended up winning that one game because of Pentagonal because he drove checked 3 crits off the 5 drive checks.
People check more than 2?
Yeah.
Whoa.
First time I've seen it since locals.
Wow. That's insane.
So with him checking those, he got that, so we had to go into another game. Ended up taking that match. And that was so my Kagura matchup, my OTT matchup for that event were really strange because, they weren't what I'm normally used to playing against. I changed the whole thing of playing against it because it's build you don't see or you wouldn't think to see.
Maybe that was the idea.
Maybe.
Just throw everybody off.
Yeah, and that's what 9 out of 10 people do. They're throwing decks that people don't remember to play against to play it to steal wins, which is a smart thing to do. But at the same time, make sure you're able to keep up with the meta at the same time with that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why for even big events or any regionals you have coming up, don't count any clan out. Play against everything. Play test against everything. Know how to do what you're doing. So we're proceeding to round 5, and I'm like, okay, so far undefeated, haven't lost nothing yet. I'm like, I need to get this mirror match. I've been waiting for the mirror match all day. Still haven't seen it. So round 5, play against Angel Feather. I'm like, Angel Feather. Wait a minute now. Kagura, OTT, Angel Feather. Where's the mirror match? Haven't seen it yet. So play against Angel Feather. I got first. Went first. Went for the rush. Hit the Zeracho on damage zone. Now I thought he didn't superior ride into Zeracho. I'm like, okay, why didn't he? Because I was at 3, he was at 1. He had the G-Sys for a 2. Or he rode a 2. I'm like, okay, why didn't he go straight into the 3? I forgot I had to be on grade 3 in order for him to superior. I'm like, oh, okay. Now the skill I completely forgot, so I was actually waiting for it. So the whole match proceeded, and then during one game he hospitaled me. So that's why I'm like, as soon as I saw the hospital, that's when it was time to start guarding early, because I know as soon as the hospital is rather, I'm not gonna be able to guard it. I'm gonna be forced to take it, or I'm gonna have to save stuff to guard it because of the no sentinels, and then with him getting extra 20k in crit right on top.
So how do you decide when to take damage that you need versus damage that you have to guard? You know
against Angel Feather?
Or just like in general?
In general? Well, the way you're playing Bermuda. With Bermuda, the fact is you call a full board and you're calling a lot of 3s. So your hand is full of guard. But at the same time, what you have to realize is when you can figure out what they're... You got to think maybe a turn or 2 ahead of your opponent. The way I see it is because if you don't think ahead or 2 of what can happen and what will happen, is going to determine how the match goes. So my way I think it is, if I'm like for Angel Feather, if I know he has a hospital at hand, or if I think he's gonna have a hospital ready for next turn because he had like 4 threes in soul or something like that, I'm like, I gotta guard early because this is gonna be a crit coming at me, and I gotta also count for the crits he hits off of his dry checks if he hits any. And that's the only guard strict in the deck. So then it's like, waste my PG on their Vanguard, let them drive check their stuff. And 9 out of 10, they'll give all effects to hospital with the crits if they hit more than one, or they'll try splitting it up. If they split it up, then it's take the one that's not, or guard the one that doesn't have a guard restrict and take the one with the guard restrict, you know? But if they add it up, then it's like, if I'm at 2 and they hit another crit and that's it, it's 3, I'm going to take the 3 and guard the last one because, you know, I'm not going to have enough guard to guard, especially with it being an extra 10k now. And that's a big thing to determine is this game is based off power and based off crit sacking nowadays, especially with the reboot.
Yes.
So if you got to account for every crit possible. If you don't, if you mistakenly say no guard at a low damage count, knowing they still have a high amount of crits in the deck, you might just cost yourself the match just because you did not count the crits.
Yes. Interesting. Okay, so what, round 6 now?
So, round 6 through 8, nothing but mirror matches. This is where the mirror matches came in.
It's because they all floated to the top, essentially.
Exactly. And and a lot of people had the same reason to play Bermuda this weekend was, I had the deck, why not play it? Or, my buddy has the deck, he's not going, I'm going to borrow it.
I should have done that with Kagero, but anyway.
Yeah. There were, when I was wandering around my round 1, I counted at least 31 Bermuda players. There might have been more because I think some matches were done before I decided to count, but I counted at least 31, counting me.
Which was about a fourth or so.
A fourth of the tourney. And I saw a lot of Kagero, saw some Brant, saw Great Nature, saw some of these miscellaneous clans like you would not expect to see, but that's why you always prepare for those same things as well. But anyway, 6 through 8, I played nothing but mirror matches. And for a lot of people who play, the best way to win the Bermuda mirror match is get the high roll, don't miss your Sonata ride, and try rushing as much as you can. Well, from my perspective, how my build works is because of that. So you can try stealing those early games. Because if you lose the dice roll and they are able to counter it, and it's pretty much whoever gets the 2 grade 3 turns first with Sonata. Because then that wastes the guard, counts the crits, and that determines how that game ends up going. From my perspective, at least. Other people have different opinions. And I mean, I lost one of those rounds. I think it was round 7 I finally lost to a mirror match. And that was because he hit the crits, he sacked, but also at the same time he was able to counter my rush by hitting defensive triggers, and he also was able to rush back on me. So which is, and every time he called the grade 2, the chocolate one, Elise Let, he always hit a Caro, or he always hit 3 to get his stuff off. I'm like, okay, so that's 1 extra card he now has for next turn on board. And you can't retire with the Bermuda mirror match because you don't retire, you call. So I ended up going, before top 16, ended up going 7-1. Stand-ins were being posted. Somebody's record was messed up now. So this caused the whole repair for the top stand-in. So stand-in at second. So they said somebody's score was not right. Hold on, everybody, for a repair. Or we call it a repair, repost, recount, whatever. Still ended up being in second after the repair because none of my tiebreakers could bump me down, or nobody's record should have been able to mess me up, unless first place I think might have changed if it was his, but it wasn't. So and that was the end of day 1. So after we all got done with that, I know we all hung out for a little bit, play tested more, played some more Ardent Saga, and then we're getting ready for the next day. But we had a fun night, day 1 at least. Everybody discussing what happened, why this happened, why all that happened. That night was exhausting. So then went back to the hotel room. Everybody was getting ready for Ardent Saga the next morning while I was getting ready for top 16. So everybody got a good night's sleep. Some people went out and had fun.
And some people had to go get them. Not naming names, but some people got less sleep than others. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
And then early on that morning, early
7:30. Everybody woke up at like 7 o'clock.
I was waking everybody up. People were not happy.
Yeah.
I was poking Will with my my facial wash stuff, and he did not like that.
Nope. We had to get up at 7 because I had to be back at the venue by 8 o'clock. So before we left, we made sure everything was packed up because we were also checking out that Sunday, that same day.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't able to check out until the afternoon because we tried checking out in the morning. The doors were locked for the hotel lobby, and so I'm like, okay. So we just went the day two. So went there like 8 o'clock. Venue's closed. They haven't even called for top people yet. So we just waited there for a little bit till they opened the venue. Went to go open. Vanguard Top 16 was called to meet at the Vanguard tables. And he sat everybody down to where y'all gonna be playing, who you're gonna be playing, this and that. He said, separate your decks, get ready for deck checks. So there were two judges now who do deck checks because we had like 16 people. So I'm sitting across from one person before he pairs us up, and he then deck checks the guy in front of me, gets up, goes to the table behind me, and deck checks everybody at that table. The second judge is sitting right next to me, deck checking everybody on that side. So I'm like,
oh right, I remember. I remember this now.
I'm like, I didn't get deck checked. So before they were about to start pairing, now the smart way was, Judge, I didn't get deck checked. Y'all didn't deck check me. Thought about not saying it, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna be nice because I need to get deck checked just in case because some people like being stingy. But it's like that's just the thing. Need to be on top of deck checks because now you're giving people a reason to cheat, or you're giving people a reason to now. Oh, I see what's in top 16. What can I change since they didn't deck check me to
throw some more sentinels in.
Yeah, right. 5 PGs. So I'm like, Judge, deck check. You didn't deck check me. He's like, I thought he was deck checking. No. Oh, okay. Well, you're playing Bermuda, so they all should look the same. He really said, that's Bermuda. It all probably looks the same. He went through it. I'm playing a different grade 1 than a lot of them, so he said, what does this do? Oh, I like this. This is what I like. Like, yeah. So we get paired up for our top 16 matches. So I'm like, all right, here where the more mirror matches come in. I play against Brant. Brant. I'm like, oh.
I can't believe that Brant made top cut.
Can't believe Murakumo made top cut. We'll get to that later.
We will.
But
that's an interesting deck.
That's an interesting deck. The top 16 I play against Brant. He gets the Brant, he reverses my triggers like he's supposed to. Okay, and the thing about when they Brant you, especially if you're playing a crit heavy deck like Bermuda, Kagero, anything that's not Axel that has an option to play fronts. The smart way I determine is if I think I'm gonna hit a crit, instead of swinging Vanguard to Vanguard, swing Vanguard to a rear guard they have. Because so then if you hit that crit, it doesn't affect you, and that 10k can go.
Yeah, 10k power still goes. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I can kill something at the same time with my Vanguard because
it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
So then I give the power. So you then give the power to a rear guard, and then you swing at their Vanguard with your rear guards, unless you try damage starving them. Now, if you try damage starving them, it's fine, but make sure you're able to at least survive that next turn, or make sure you're able to at least afford to not swing. Because if you have to swing, you need to swing. But if you can afford not to, then don't. But, that's just how this game works. You actually have to think sometimes about what to do. I did not see him ride. I saw him, I think, ride the 4 once. Other than that, he was always stuck on the grade 3 Brant, and he kept re-riding the grade 3 Brant. Now, during the match, I did end up, during my drive check, checking a heel trigger at 3, damage checking another heel trigger, and then going to 5 damage. I'm like, why? So going to game 3, I'm like, okay, I'm drawing mulligan. I have a heel in hand. I'm like, okay, bet. I don't care about these right now.
Right.
Then I drew into the rest of them. I'm like, oh my god.
You saved yourself.
I'm drawing into my heels. Normally you'd be mad for drawing into your heels. But if you're playing against Brant and you see a heel, you better be happy that you see that heel trigger. Because I'd rather have it for a guard than drive check it later on and die.
Or damage check it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the thing about Brant. Brant is a meme deck in this format. It is a troll deck. Now,
Good troll deck.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be competitive because any deck can be competitive.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like any other thing. You have to see all your resources. If you don't see all your resources for it, it doesn't go well. Like Ezel right now, you have to see that superior ride and you have to win the die roll. Yep. If you don't, you lose.
Yep.
And you get outrushed.
Yep.
So that was a pretty interesting match for playing top 8, playing against Brant. Because I always thought it was rather a mirror match, or I thought it was something I haven't played against yet. Which I haven't played against Brant yet in the tournament, but I'm like, this is very interesting. So, moving to top 8, I ended up playing against the only reason I remember this opponent is because for Chicago, I think, for Atlanta, when I did my team league for Atlanta last year with some buddies in Jacksonville, we ended up playing against her and her team for premium, and this is where one played Bermuda, one played Deleter Messiah, and the other one played Geese. I'm like, oh, okay, I remember you.
Oh, this is the Kevin Angel's team, right?
Yes, this is Kevin Angel's team.
We had him on the podcast a while ago.
Played against Sarah. A mirror match. I'm like, okay, I expected this. Played the mirror match. I ended up I was second place the whole top, so I had the option every round to go first.
Which is baloney, but continue.
I'm like, it is. Like, the high seed being able to go first, it was ridiculous, because especially if it's a mirror match and you want to go first for it, and that just proves it there.
Yep.
But nothing we can do about it.
Right, and I mean that honestly helped you get to second place.
Yeah, because I was able to go first all dang tournament.
That's fine.
But played against her. Played game 1. We ended up going to game 3. Because me and her were pretty much going back and forth with each other on dealing damage, critting, and doing the Bermuda thing back and forth to each other. Her deck's pretty much all SP'd out, except for a few cards, but just seeing them all, I'm like, oh my gosh, this deck right here.
That's how she got so far, because all SPs.
Almost, yeah. With a few SVRs here and there, but I'm like, gosh.
Oh, it makes yours look like trash.
I'm glad I'm getting rid of mine.
Yeah. And yours is almost all SVR.
Yeah.
So.
I'm short like 3 cards. So we went into game 3. Well, sorry, we ended game 2. Got time called. So we went into game 3 going in the time. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So I ended up having the G-assist for a 1. Got the 1. Got rid of my two cards. Pass. She rides into a 1. Normal ride into a 1. So obviously with both of y'all starting at 0, you don't want to take a damage because that changes everything. She calls for the rush.
Oh, with Lisa and
no, she called the Vanguard booster tier.
Yes, that one.
Yeah,
whatever.
She called that, and I think she might call Lisa. I don't remember. She went for the rush, guarded Vanguard, guarded her rear guard. It's fine. I ride into a 2. I counter rush. She guards everything of mine too. She PGs my grade 2 Vanguard. Which was a misplay because she shouldn't have PG'd, and we talked about that after. that because she shouldn't have PG, she said, because she had a heal in hand where she could have just guarded with it. She G assists for a 2. So this is me turn 0, her turn 1. No, sorry. She went first. Either way. So this is before turn 3. Now, she G assists for a 2, got the 2, G assisted away a 3 and something else. Because she wasn't going to make the 3 because I think I was turn 3, so which means she would have had to go first. So we were doing our things back and forth.
Can't really guard with 3s. Oh, you could not in this tournament because...
well, you can. 3s count as 0 shields.
I mean, with the
Finna ruling.
The Finna ruling.
Which is a complaint we'll talk about later about this tournament, because I'll go over something later on about that. So, she G-sits for the 2, got rid of the 3 and something else. She swings. I guard everything. Then, I rode into my 3, was able to call, at least, I think I had a full column in my Vanguard. Now, she should have saved the PG, because when she didn't have enough to guard everything. Or she had enough to only make it a 1 to pass, I think, at the time, or a 2 to pass. And I was able to pass it. So she would have saved the PG, she would have PG'd my Vanguard, would just guarded the other one normally, and would win the sudden death. She would have won it because I had nothing else I could do. So she would have won that. So that was probably my favorite mirror match all day, for the fact is us going back and forth, going the time, and then being able to just afterwards talk about what went wrong, what happened, and why this and this would have happened. But going the time with Bermuda is probably worse than going the time with OTT. Because, yes, it's a protect matchup, now makes that go fast, but this is a force matchup, especially with the deck that you already have difficulties guarding enough. Now you go in the time having problems guarding, it makes things more difficult because you can't afford a damage or a damage change. Unlike OTT, you can afford a damage change because you have more likely of chance to hit a heal than you will with Bermuda ever, just because you stack your deck 9 times out of 10.
Right.
So, that was my top 8 match. Top 4, Murakumo.
The Murakumo guy.
Now, this is interesting, because this is what I told you to play as well, was you play Murakumo, because I had a feeling something was gonna... Murakumo, he's M'Baku'd me 2 turns in a row. Now, the only reason he's M'Baku'd me 2 turns in a row is because he had 2 face-up damage. He healed his previous turn. So, I said, okay. I swung at his Vanguard with mine, hoping he would no-guard it, which I knew he really wasn't, because he's at 4, don't want to take the risk of a crit. He guarded that, hit no triggers. Well, I hit a trigger, but it wasn't a crit trigger. So I gave it to a rear guard. Now I decided to swing at his Vanguard for a single damage when he has 2 face-up already. I'm like, oh. As soon as I swung, he took him like, I knew what the hell just happened there. Because he's M'Baku'd me. He did Zongeki me once.
He didn't? Or?
He did not.
See, because I think Jordan and I were thinking that he didn't have a Zongeki in his deck.
No, he did, because there was a Zongeki in his damage zone, because I think I damaged it. And then he called one to the rear guard circle.
Really?
Because he had I don't think he had arresters anymore, because I think he'd rather intercept with his arresters to guard, or they just weren't there. Or there was no point in him going to the Zongeki because I was at low damage, I was able to guard everything.
Well, I figured it would have been for the zeros only restriction.
Yeah, what you would think.
I guess you could intercept with Finna, and that things would still work that way. So.
Exactly. It's just the whole Finna rule is ridiculous right now. So I mean, it's just he's M'Baku'd me twice. He got that game because he's M'Baku'd me twice. Because 2 turns with no Vanguard swing kind of matters. Like 1 isn't normally a problem, but when he knocks you down twice, Murakumo especially, that's 4 cards you miss out on, which is fine. So. Ended up going at least into game 3. I think I ended up critting for game 3. I knew he was I think he was at 3 or 4 damage. He 2 to pass, crit, another random trigger, I think, and it just flew.
Sealed the deal.
Sealed the deal there because, and that was very interesting. I'm kind of glad to see something other than Bermuda in top 4 at least, because that's an interesting matchup for any clan, especially with it being almost what do you want to call it? Anti-meta clan, I want to say at this point, because when it first came out, it was solid. Like, it had its best matchup against OTT because they required you to reride a lot, or anything that required you to reride. When they got their Violence Delete support, the deck just got 10 times better. Because of Zengaki with the 0 guard restrict.
And Shiryuki.
And when Shiryuki came out, too. Which he Shiryuki'd me a lot. And I was like, oh.
Did that really affect it? Or?
He put me down to at least 8K. And then I think he actually put me down in the negatives once, but I think I hit a defensive trigger to balance it out a little. But it was still a big thing because of the fact I had to work to get that back up to what I was able to do.
Because I always figured that it wouldn't have, like, a 60K column and you being Shiryuki going down to 50K, I wouldn't have figured it.
Oh no, he Shiryuki'd me once or twice during the battle phase, but mainly is when he rode the Shiryuki, and then he did call some of the rear guard as well. So that changed the whole guard step situation for me. So that's why I had to hit a defensive trigger to try balancing it out when it mattered at the time. But like with that deck can counter a lot of things, especially if they pull their lockdown, and then they just go straight into Zangeki next turn, because now I miss out on my Vanguard ride, and now I can only guard with this grade, so which means is I have to guard like at least 5 attacks, not counting triggers, or more if they have that promo and you decide to PG their Vanguard. Because that promo, the promo we got for a shop challenge, where when your opponent sentinels your Vanguard, put a normal unit from your drop zone to the bottom deck, search your deck for a copy of your Vanguard and call it. That gives you an extra 22k attack at most if you're on Zangeki or Zanbaku. That, in 9 out of 10, they're going to call on the Axel Circle because it's an extra 10k. So 6 attacks at most, depending on how many promos you have on board, depending on how many extra copies of Vanguard. You should only be playing 2 Zangekis anyway. If you play more, I don't see why. Because you have to have room for Shiryuki and all that. But knowing all that, especially when they minus you, it's a lot harder to guard with.
Right.
Especially if you decide to go to at least 4 damage before knowing they're going to lock you down. I stay at low just for a case. So that was my top 4. That was a pretty good, interesting matchup. The guy was really good.
All right, then the final match.
Mirror match. I was able to go first, but he was able to, honestly, he hit the triggers. He hit a lot more resources than I did for going second. He did draw a few things here and there that helped him a lot. So, I mean, that match was sealed and done as soon. I think we ended up going to game 3 at least, but I think I took game 2. But it was just, he went first then. He got the Sonata. He had a full melody board already. Already had a Caro off the Lacent. So I'm like, yeah, he had that game. So there's not much to say. Like, yep, for the final match, it went by fast.
Right.
Because, like, normally final matches will last about half the time. I think that match only lasted maybe 10, 15 minutes.
So was there still time in these last couple?
We still had 45-minute times.
Really?
We were still on time. That's why by top 8, we win the time. There was still time in matches. I don't think there should be.
I don't think so either.
I mean, top 16 maybe, but once it hits top 8, I think there should be no time limit, just because then, especially if you keep telling people how much time is left in the round.
It's stressful.
It's now, I got to speed my brain up. Now I got to play harder, play faster.
Plus, it changes what a good game could be to, like, now I have to kind of, like, manipulate the system, essentially.
Pretty much. Like,
and that's not a fun or engaging time.
No.
Like, you wouldn't even do that to stream because you want to see like, if you were streaming these, which surprised that they weren't, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I would, like, finish the whole game, though. Anyway, we're running over on time, so we're going to talk about the FINA ruling real quick, and I think we'll probably have to end it there.
Sure.
Well, for Argent Saga, this carried over into day 2, so you missed out on the Argent Saga. I'll probably talk to Jordan in details about how my event went, because I don't know if he's heard all of that, but I'll go into that later.
Sure.
So the FINA ruling. Can you explain the?
So a lot of things that messed up a lot of Bermuda players is everybody knows Bushy Road released a ruling for FINA is if you call a copy of it from your hand, even if it's your only one, your melody unit still see the melody ability she has to get plus 10k in intercept.
On the Guardian Circle.
On the Guardian Circle, right.
But that wasn't printed on the card.
It's not printed on the card. So what happened was it was ruled for that event that rule would not be allowed because it is not printed on the card and because Bushy Road or because nobody was able to give a real reason why it worked. Even though there's a video, there's a post, there's everything from Bushy Road and from people showing, confirming it works, all Bermuda players were not allowed to use that rule because it did not have the Guardian Circle written on the card. Even though there was an official ruling, which messed up a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And which normally you would think, if it's an official ruling, we'd be using it for events, especially a big event like this.
Right.
But according to what the judge said, he messaged somebody in Singapore that he asked if the ruling worked. He said the guy told him that yes and no, it works. So he said that he didn't get a straight answer. So that's why he ruled it to where it don't work, because he wasn't able to get a straight answer.
How is it a yes and a no? It's a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It don't make sense. So that's why I'm like, there's a video confirming it. There's a post confirming it. There's everything, emails confirming it, but we weren't allowed to use it for that event.
And that threw out, I think Jordan was the one that it was called on.
It was called on one of our buddies here, which is ridiculous because we ended up pulling up the video, pulling up the emails, pulling up everything. Mm-hmm. We showed a judge, talked to him, and then still was told no. Somebody later on in the rounds got called out for it too. Right. I'm like, it's ridiculous.
Okay. I think we'll have to wrap it up there because we got almost 45 minutes of talking. Yeah, it'll be fine. I don't care. It was a good discussion. You had the most eventful of us, so it makes sense. All right. So thank you for joining me, TJ. I really appreciate it. And if you want people to reach you, is there any place?
Facebook, Anthony Julian. You can always follow Drive Check, and I'm on Cole's Facebook page. Just look me up and just add me up.
Yeah. And without further ado, we'll move on to the next one. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Peace.
All right, I am here with Mr. Jordan.
Hey.
And I think you're recording number 4, I think, at this point.
Really number 1.
Really number And we're going to kind of go through your how you did over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Thursday, you and TJ drove up Thursday night, which we talked about. Mm-hmm. And then what did you end up doing Thursday? Because you guys got there a lot earlier than we did.
So we just we were just exploring, mm-hmm. but the whole drive kind of set the tone for the weekend. Mm-hmm. As you know, we got hit with
the tolls.
Oh my god, the tolls! I spent $80 on tolls
$80 on tolls.
Not including gas. And then as soon as we hit to Atlantic City, I got a ticket. They said I went 20 over.
But you were only going 30, so.
Good thing I was going like 120 and a 50. I was going like 63 and a 55, and they said I was going to go on 75 and a 55, which didn't make any sense. I was in the passing zone. They gave me a seatbelt violation ticket instead of So, and then we got to the hotel, and then the hotel was really bad. So, like I said, it set the tone
for the whole weekend.
The whole weekend. It was just like, my mentality was just.
Yeah.
The entire week. My face showed it all.
Yeah.
I did not want to be bothered until we got home.
You're like laying on the bed, like, yeah. Oh, guess what's up? It's like for most of the time. It was great.
Yeah, it was something.
It was.
It definitely was something.
Times were had. I hit a button. What did I do? Okay, so we're good. I moused over to selection view, which is I've never actually hit that button before. Okay. So that was Thursday, and then Friday morning, you and I think you took Will with you, went to the vendor convention, whatever area.
Yeah, we got there pretty early, but we wanted to check out. I wanted to check out the beach, but only got to view the boardwalk.
You didn't get to walk on the beach?
I didn't even get to walk on
cold.
the beach. Oh.
Super cold.
I wanted to so bad, and the funny thing is, I didn't expect Friday to last as long. I can't even remember what I did Friday. There was a lot of deck building, a lot of demoing for Argent Saga.
That's all I got. I don't remember much beyond that.
Yeah, I participated in one of the Argent Saga tournaments, a little side tournament.
Yes, I did one as well.
But other than that, I really don't remember. But we ended up leaving at 6, and I was like, I wanted them to leave at like 2 to go to the beach. Like, let's get a swimming suit and swimming trunks, and then go to the beach. And it was like 6. And I was like, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm exhausted. I gotta prepare for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't even think we even played test at the venue.
No.
So I still don't know what we did.
I played a little bit. I played Jordan not Jordan, Jojo and I. You're Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you're both Jordans, but we called Jojo, Jordan. Anyway, it's confusing. Him and I played a little bit, and I think I borrowed your Kagero deck for one game, and I was tempted.
Oh yeah, because I was trying to figure out, like, should I play Kagero BT?
And
then I did a dice roll, and then like I was like, all right, if it's odds, I'll play BT, and they were all odds.
Yeah, you rolled like 4 or 5, and they were all odds. So
it was like 3, 5, 5, 5, and I was like, oh my god, are you serious? I mean, but it is what it is.
So we're moving into Saturday then. Mm-hmm. So you played Bermuda.
Unfortunately.
And you no longer own Bermuda.
I do know. I thank God, because my Novas. Yes. But yeah, that day was a day. Like I said, Thursdays really threw me off. But I came in with a winning mentality. I was like, all right, I'm gonna come in. I'm a rag face, you know. But then again, I was kind of hoping, I get out, scrub out, so I can do the Argent. Yeah, exactly. So I can just do my own thing, prepare for Argent for the next day. But I mean, so I won my first game. I forgot who. I think it was a BT mirror.
Just, that's kind of funny because your first game was a mirror and TJ
didn't hit any mirror. I hit every mirror. I hit what, 2 Brant? No, I hit 1 Brant. Like 4 other mirrors. I only played 6 rounds.
Okay, I played 5, so that makes sense.
So then 1 mirror match. Oh man, and it made me so mad. So the FINA ruling. I've been having all the bad luck. So the FINA ruling, the Bushiroad changed it so the FINA ruling can go off the G on the Guardian Circle. And I did everything right because I played. You can in fact play FINA from your hand to the Guardian Circle to give all your other units plus 10,000 and intercept.
Yeah, all your melody units. Yeah.
So, I had the perfect guard. I had enough to guard the other BT attack, and I had a perfect guard in my hand, so I can win the game, so I can survive next turn and push for game, winning the match.
Yeah.
He calls Judge. Judge says, at this specific tournament, we cannot do the ruling, or we do not do the ruling. They know what it is. They know exactly what it is. He said, I know what it is and it's valid, but we do not do it at this tournament. Meaning I did not have enough to guard, meaning I lost the game and the match, and it was just...
So, did they give you a reason as to why they couldn't do it?
They said that Bushiroad did not give them... I don't know.
They're not an official Bushiroad event, though, because if they were, they'd be doing best of one.
Right, and I wish it was best of one. Oh my God. Out of what, 150 play or 120
something, yeah.
Best of one would have been perfect. 1 day event, so everybody can play Argent Saga.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that he messaged somebody from Singapore.
Yeah.
And he said yes and no, so they just went with no.
How is it a yes and a no?
Exactly.
It's yes or no. There's no. I mean, yes, but also no. Like you can, but you can't. I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly, and it was mind-boggling because even after the match, I was like, I talked to the other judge. I was like, hey, what's going on? Like, why is this the thing? The other judge came back. So I ended up losing that game. I'm at what I think 3-2. I lost to Brant. I don't know how I lost to Brant, but I lost to Brant.
Well, I mean, Brant did its sneaky little thing, so.
I think, well, it ended up happening. One game, I was at 5 dimension. I drove check and heal, which never happens to me.
Yeah,
but
you
it just so happened.
Yeah,
exactly. I always end up 3 in the opening hand.
Yeah. See, that's why Grand Blue's so good, because you just mill all of your heals, and then you grab them back with Greed Shade.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved.
And then he just, I don't know. I'm still to this day trying to figure out, like, what... Every game I always analyze what I did right and what I did wrong.
Right.
So, in the future of games, it'll help me. And I don't even know what I did.
I mean, I don't know if you really did anything wrong.
Actually, he triple crit me one of the games. I think it was game when I was at 5 and healed.
That's,
but that happened, and then... I don't know. I think I had a bunch of grade 3s in my hand, as I always do.
You got RNG'd. Not much you can do about that. Especially when you're playing Bermuda and you have all those grade 3s that you can't use to intercept.
Yes. And then when they judge it, and... But if I get OTT, I just... You can't protect forever.
You can protect one of these.
And then a mirror match I lost. And so my record was 3-3 and I dropped.
Slightly better than Jojo and I.
When did you go, like 2-4 or something like
that? I went 0-1-4. I got a tie against Aquaforce. Of all things, Aquaforce versus Neo Nectar.
Oh, that is... How?
I don't know. I do not like my build going in, and this is the first ever big tournament that I've been to, and this was a pretty big learning experience for me. Is to play what I'm comfortable with, even if it's not the best deck, because I know Green and Blue like the back of my hand, and I am able to play to most other decks because I kind of have an understanding of how they work. I changed up a Neo Nectar build to deviate from how I normally play, to play to someone else's, what they posted, and I didn't test it enough beforehand. So that's where I messed up. And it might work. So it's supposed to be good against Bermuda Triangle, and it's probably good against Bermuda Triangle for that person, but because I didn't fully understand the deck like they did, I couldn't make those decisions. Also, my first 2 games never saw Cecilia. First 2 matches never saw Cecilia. So I can only do so much on Maiden of Trailing Rose. But I held out. I did what I could, and then that's pretty much it. It was like first 2 games were against Bermuda, and they just stomped me. And there's no point of even showing up after that. But I was like, I paid all this money to be out here. At least let me have some fun games.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I definitely agree with you playing something that you're comfortable with. The only reason why I played VT was, I mean, I'm not used to Kagero either. I don't like Kagero. Kagero likes me. If that makes any sense. I find Every time I play Cajka was like, "Oh, you need an Overlord the Great? I got you.
I got you, fam.
Oh, it's the final push, top deck of Waterfall. Like,
If only your brother had that.
Jalen never has that luck. It's only me.
And he actually likes
And
Cajka.
he loves it. It's his favorite deck. It's the only clan that he would always play. And I'm like, I hate Cajka, but I'll tell you something. Why not? You know, I gotta figure it out. Oh, I have Berserker Dragon turn 2. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Oh, knew it. The drop 3. Free plus.
Oh my gosh.
Drive check PG draw. Oh, Waterfall. or Overlord the Great.
Here we go.
I don't know where I'm set.
We're good to go.
Oh, I can guard this turn, that turn. I can guard BT. They're full. Like, what?
Force Clan that can hold its own against numbers? What is this? Oh, that's great. See, I feel like I would have had better luck playing against Cajka because Cajka not super complicated.
No, it's straightforward. It practically plays itself. To
It
be
does,
honest.
and it would definitely help getting rid of the fish ladies. And also, Waterfall is a thing, and a lot of people kind of forget that Waterfall exists because the Great came out, and the Great's great. It's a great card.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Multi-attacking, your new can attack again. If you drive check a crit.
Give it crits and all this stuff.
You just have so much advantage.
It's so simple.
Yes.
It looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually break down like how the mechanics of that deck work, it's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. I need to get 2 more
Of
for
the-
Blade Master. I think.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe I'll do 2 greats and then 2 of the Dual Axe or whatever. I don't know.
Dual Axe. Yeah.
Dual Axe is pretty good. That's a cool card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So scrubbed out and went. Well, I lost and I was hungry, and Jojo and I and Will went to a Jamaican place.
I forgot about that. I wanted to try it.
I wanted to bring you something, but you guys didn't get back to me in time.
I know. I was caught up. Oh, dude, people just kept coming to me. One guy, I was like putting my Angel Feather deck together so I can sell it, and this guy was like, "Can we fight?" And I was like, "Yeah, but what do you want to fight against?" This Angel Feather that I just put back together. Like, oh my god, all right, dude.
So wait, someone just randomly came
randomly.
Really?
Randomly.
That never happens to me.
This guy, like, literally, I guess he was scoping me out. He's like, I never fought against Angel Feather before. He played DP, and I was like, I haven't touched this deck since, like, March.
Interesting.
I built the deck, and I was like, all right, I like OTT better. And just
yeah. I no longer own my Angel Feathers.
I literally sold it yesterday. Like, it's shipped and everything.
Yeah, I shipped mine to Canada. By the way, smaller packages are better to ship, international.
Yes.
And don't do what I did. It cost $50 to ship that deck.
Oh my god.
It was the stupidest thing ever. Because I didn't have a box, so I had to get like one of the flat rate ones, right? And so
Oh no. You made a mistake.
I made a mistake. I had to get a big enough one for my Boulder deck box.
You get one of those. They have like a cardboard envelope package, and you can just stuff it in.
It wasn't gonna fit. My Boulder is the 100 card one. So it wasn't good. I know, it was the stupidest thing ever. I regret it so much. But thankfully, I went to a listener, Nick Gidillini, and he's got my angels. He'll do right by them.
Yeah, angels are not, and when their support comes out,
Yep.
Eden. That's all I'm saying. 'Cause I was right about Pale Moon.
Yeah, we Lukier.
Yes.
Wait, Lukier or
Lukier.
Lukier? Okay.
And
That's a nice looking card. And I didn't realize it was. I forgot that when it came out in the Rummy Labyrinth, it came out as a stride bonus, but the same name. So it's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about that last episode on Drive Check. So that was fun to talk about. Okay, so Sunday, Argent Saga.
So I gave you my deck that I was going to play.
I wish you had played that one instead.
Me too, because literally, I made a friend. His name was Brian. Shout out to Brian. And he topped. I can't remember what place he went, but he topped with the same deck, and it was funny because I play green blue. And I never played him.
Right, yeah. You only played one game against me.
I literally tested it and I'm like, alright, this deck is fun. I never played it before, but let's go ahead and do it. So then, so I was like, okay, I wish I played Firelight. I really wish I played Firelight. But I was like,
you had to.
But I was like, you're not going to get this deck, because this deck is a lot more complicated. Because of Ethan's effect.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to swap JoJo, and we realized this after we both scrubbed. It's like, this is more your playstyle. It's more Royal Paladin-y and whatnot. And then yours is more like Grand Blue. The blue-black was more like Grand Blue. And I had already had experience playing blue because that was the deck I got for the side event thing. And I really liked the blue. So, I forgot that I'm a blue-white player in Magic. So, or white-blue. So.
I'm a Firelight player in Magic. That's why I liked it. And green-blue is like, I think one of my least favorite decks in Magic. Like building. I like. Anyways. So I played green-blue. First round was against a bounty. And it was a little kid. And I was like, oh, this kid is, he can barely, the cards were bigger than his hands. And it was just like, oh, it's kind of cute. I'll let him win the first game. But I'm going slow. I'm taking my time. I'm like, okay, the slower I go, the more I can understand. So the next game I can be like, games I can be like, okay.
Makes more sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first game took 45 minutes. Not to mention, everyone else was pretty much done. Half the...
I lost in 20 minutes, so yeah.
So then we had backseat... what do you call it? Backseat gamers.
Oh,
or whatever you call those guys. And they were talking... The little kid's name was Regan. And he was a cool dude. But you could tell that he was getting frustrated because they just kept talking about the game. And I'm like, guys, stop. So we can focus. This guy's like, you can't do this. I'm like, yes, I can. It was just so frustrating. And then we get the time, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to win the game. And they're like, all right, no more. And I was like, I can't even swing to destroy this tower to win game 2 to tie. So he ended up winning because it's best out of 3, whoever won game 1.
Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, they had...
immediately wins.
They had a thesis for their end of round deciding who wins and whatnot. They had thought of every combination. One of them was counting how many cards left in each deck.
Yes. If there's 3, I think it was like, if you had the same number of towers, whoever had more cards in your hand wins. Or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, or if they have the same number, then the deck.
Then it goes to,
if there's the same number, it goes to something else. And if that's it just kept stacking. And I was like, this is so confusing. But I get it. It's the first tournament.
They're testing things. But
it was just so weird.
And, I was sitting, they did, a pre-pairing sit-down at the beginning so they can find out who all is actually here.
That was funny, because, half the players didn't even show up.
Yeah. Large amount.
William almost didn't get in.
I know. He was using the bathroom, apparently. So, very unfortunate time.
He was in there for a while.
Yeah.
A long while.
So,
yeah, lost the game.
Lost the first round. To the bounty.
To a bounty. He still gave me a pin.
Oh.
It's in my second game, once against Dalen Mack, the NFL player.
He was my third.
Yes. Who played Firelight and was a bounty.
He taught me some things. I learned how to play the deck from him.
Which I tried to teach you. This is like I said, everything was just so discombobulated the whole weekend. I was like, all right, I'm gonna teach you how to play this deck. It's so good. You can do this turn 1, or you can do this, do this. Didn't get a chance to do that, so he didn't get the chance. So he couldn't show you the cool things you can do with it. I showed when I was demoing. I showed his name was James. He's a little boy, and he was like, I I taught him how to play.
Uh-huh.
Then I was like, this is my favorite deck and why. And he was like, I want to play that deck for Sunday. And I was like, all right, I'll butcher the deck. And he ended up playing. I think he won, a game or two. But which is pretty cool.
Yeah, more than that.
More than me. I saw his parents, and they were like, "Oh, you playing Firelight?" And I was like, "Nope." I'm like, why not? I let my buddy play it. So Dalen Mack, True Duelist TGG, one of those team members, kicked my butt, and I was like, dude. I was like, man, I told him straight up, like, oh man, you're playing the deck that I was gonna play. And he was like, oh, what deck you playing? Green blue. You just wanna call it quits? He didn't say that, but he gave me that look like, oh yeah, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And yeah, he wrecked me. And then man, I was talking all that crap about.
Oh man, Green Blue's so good.
so I'm 0-2, and I was like, all right, so I'll play one more. I'm hungry. You had Vietnamese food.
I had pho. It was. I got TJ to eat pho. He didn't add any of the toppings, whatever, but he had it. It was so good.
I know.
Oh.
So after I scrubbed out, I went there with JoJo.
Uh-huh.
We had 2 bowls each.
2 bowls?
2 bowls each.
Holy.
And I was like, all right, do I want a third? Because it was just so good. But the second one wasn't as good as the first one. The first one was so good. It was just like that, and that flavor.
Oh, and the jalapeno.
Yes.
Oh, I love pho. I love pho more than ramen. It's a controversial.
It's because it's made with beef. It's beef broth with beef, and I love
and like
beef.
Spicy,
yes,
like seasoning. Oh.
And then ramen is mostly chicken or
pork.
Yes, and it's like I want beef.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but I love. There's this place in little digression here. But there's a place in Indianapolis, not Indianapolis. I think close to it.
Carmel. I think you were saying, or
yes, or Camel.
It's Carmel.
Carmel.
It's Carmel. That's where the rich white people live.
Oh
in Indiana.
yes, because it's a rich white people place.
Rich white people live in Carmel. Yes, it's very close to Indy.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. So they have the best ramen ever. Like Jalen and I tried every ramen spot, almost every ramen spot in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's compared to them.
Interesting.
They have this garlic tonkatsu ramen. We got Will to try. He had the chicken broth. Just a regular chicken broth one. But that's just so light. It's just so good. It's just everything about it. Except for don't get the appetizers. Just get the ramen. Because the ramens the appetizers are alright. But the ramen,
that's what you come for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't get sushi. Don't get any izakaya. Don't get any small plates. Don't get any appetizer. Just get the ramen. You'll be good.
Yeah.
You can get extra noodles, extra broth. So they have this
double it up.
challenge. Yes, they have a challenge where you get 4 servings of any of the ramen that you want. And if you win, they pay for your meal and you get like a t-shirt and stuff like that. So I'm going back.
If you don't win,
that's like $50.
Yeah, but I mean, like, those are meals that you can take home.
Exactly. My only thing is I don't eat soft-boiled eggs.
Oh, wow.
And
okay, well, never mind.
If they can scramble it up for me, that's perfect. But I can only eat scrambled eggs.
That's when you microwave it, then it cooks the rest of it. So, problem solved.
But they won't let you. They're like, no, sit down. Eat this ramen. You have a half an hour. I'm like, dang, all right. But anyways, so the third round of Martial Saga, I fight Will. It was so funny. I'm already like drained mentally. I'm like, I don't have any energy for this. I didn't even care if I won. If I won, I was like, oh god, like I hope I don't win the next one because I want to go eat.
Yeah,
because it's already 4 o'clock at this point.
Yeah, those games lasted way too long.
Oh my god,
way too long. That's part of the reason why I want to see you play with the actual stuff in the set. If it speeds it up, then I'm more interested.
First off, green gets the crazy support the support that it needed. Red, and then blue. I think after all the like before the legendaries, they started revealing legendaries and Argent Saga or Argent Rares.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, every color. Like I think the worst super rare, but it's still good, is like black, and that's saying a lot because light right now is the worst.
What? Yeah.
Or
Usually.
green is the worst, and then light, and then stuff like that. But I got my end of hostilities. I got a 4-drop clear board wipe. Like what? Finally. But third round I fight against Will, and he beats me because I'm trying to figure out like what I'm doing and how I'm gonna do this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then so I'm happy.
You're done.
Yes, I was like, yes, thank you. I was like Will was like, oh, come on. Oh, Will was like, this is the first time we played, which it wasn't. We played at the other ARG.
Yeah.
And
Indy.
Mm-hmm. And I won because I think he played light or fire. I don't know. I won. That's all that matters. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I won. I was like, yay, I get to eat. So I took Jojo with me. We had a little bro time. And then after our bro time, I was like, all right, TJ, he's been hanging out for like 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. It's time to go.
Time to go. And you guys left before I had finished my match. So
I wanted to say bye, but they were like, "Oh, you got raffled into the to get the cards."
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I briefly went over it with I think Will, but in detail. So they had foil metallic cards went out to raffle. You saw them, and you remember how they told you had to fight for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got chosen to fight for them, and I didn't want to. I was like, all right, I'll play one match and then I'll leave. But then Jim, I think that in the purple shirt, he wanted to have it streamed as like a feature match.
No way.
So, well, it gets better because I was like, I'll just scoop if you win the first game and then I can leave. And get up there, they had taken down the other stream setup, so they only had the table 1 match being streamed for Argent Saga. So I didn't have to do it on stream, which is great because I don't really know what I'm doing. And they brought over an actual judge who sat down and watched us play. I played against a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I played against a rule sharking Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Oh no.
You want to talk about killing the game for someone? that did it right there.
Oh, no. Okay. So what exactly did he do? Every move that you do, he's had to say something about it.
Almost.
Oh no.
Almost, not quite. He was a little bit more restrained. First off, his turns took forever. He was playing black blue.
But they don't take that long.
There were a number of times I did my thing, I put my hand down, and I let it go. And I'm just sitting there waiting, twirling my thumbs, checking, whatever I'm doing, I don't know. I'm just like waiting for his turn. He's just like reading all his cards, which, it's fine, whatever. And then I can't remember all the plays that I've done because it was like 2 weeks ago now. But I did something which I learned that when you soul burst your white starter to make him a guardian, that interrupts the attack.
Yes, so they have to re-attack.
They re-attack. Didn't know that because we'd always just played that it would go through. So that took 2-3 minutes for him going over to the judge that was sitting next to us to a different judge that he knew and asking for rule clarification. Said the same exact thing that judge said. And also he was like okay, thank you. I got it. Okay, thank you. Like
that the Yu-Gi-Oh guy?
The Yu-Gi-Oh guy. He was like that. And like I don't know if he was like nervous or something like the first couple of minutes, but he was like he bumped into the judge or something, dropped his card, he's like, sorry.
Me.
And so I'm like, it's whatever. And then just like a couple other like interactions like that throughout the first game. So I'm like, okay, I don't like you. I'm making you work. I'm working for this now.
Yeah, you're gonna work for it now.
And I destroyed him the second game.
Oh.
And then the third game, I would have won, but he did not clearly mark his tokens, his golem tokens that he got from his champion. 15,000.
Oh.
I'd played my Destroyer Dragon, my 6-drop, and I'd sacked a 1,500 person, and I'm pretty sure he didn't get rid of those tokens. So they were still in the field. But I didn't realize that ruined abilities work when they're sacked as well.
Yes.
It just didn't register. So I still could have gotten rid of at least another one of them. Which, that was a misplay on my part, because I should have been paying attention to, what his tokens were. But that same turn, I said I was going to attack his tower, and I didn't even finish my sentence. Like, wait, no, I'm going to attack your token that should have been gone already, but whatever. And I'm going to attack that instead. And he said, sure, in between me saying I'm going to attack your tower and I'm going to attack your creature. And then he's like, but I've already said sure to the tower. I've already said you can attack the tower. And I'm like, but I just want to change the target to your creature. And he's like, but I've already said sure to the tower. I've already confirmed that. And then the judge behind me was like, dude, it's a casual game. It's not supposed to be hyper competitive right now. You're barely competing for anything. And he's like, but I've already said sure. He's like, fine, I will attack your tower. And I did that, and I didn't get destroyed, but I ended up losing because I didn't have enough to guard and to block and whatnot, which is why I like blue, because Guardians are a thing. I really like blue for that specific reason.
See, Firelight, you don't care about Guardians.
I know. I couldn't get rid of enough of his tokens and whatnot. He just kept repopulating and bringing them back, and it was super annoying. But yeah, so I got a consolation prize for winning the raffle anyway. I got a double-sided of the sketch art for the blue and then the black. I have that. We can probably work something out.
We can work something out.
And then I also got the playmat, the cloth playmat that we were playing on. That was, they were using for streams and whatnot. It was the Super Smash Brothers, but Yu-Gi-Oh characters.
Oh, the Dante thing.
Yeah. And it looks cool.
Yeah, no, it looked really good. I wanted one.
Yeah. But on the sides, it was advertising for the next ARG. So I have like an exclusive ARG thing. But I don't like cloth playmats because we were playing on that and they were shifting all over the place.
Oh, you don't like cloths? I love cloths.
I don't like cloths. If it had more of
if it was stitched?
I don't care about the stitch part. If it was heavier and didn't move like rubbers did. Because we were playing on it and it was like going towards each person. It was moving all over the place. It was not great. But I got that, and I also got four playmats. Just got one for the gnome guy for entering the thing, and I got the blue guy for doing the side event, I think. Because I got the blue deck, so I figured I might as well get the playmat that matched. And then I got those two. So I got something out of it, but man, I was not happy. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had playing.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was just like,
I was wrecking for it.
Yeah, I tried. Oh man, I tried so hard.
Oh dude, I would have went to town on that guy.
Yeah, but I did what I could.
I learned a lot from some Dalen Mack. You learned a lot.
Yeah,
mirror matches are for that reason.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always good because I didn't know. Learning the game, I didn't know that champions' abilities are castable.
Yes, that's good to know.
Yes, so that happens. You can play abilities before you untap,
which is weird.
It's almost like Magic. You got to think of it like Magic.
Yeah.
So that's why the phases are so important.
Correct.
You draw, then you untap. That's why it's so important.
Okay, so I think we are over half an hour, so we're gonna cut it off there. If you want people to reach you, where can we go?
Best place, you can find me on Discord at thecrow_45, I believe that's what it is.
And you are in our Discord, our
yes,
Discord
yes.
as well.
You can find me in our drive check, or his drive check. I'm sorry. My drive check. You can find me there. I do look at you guys. I do look.
But you don't.
I read.
Yeah.
It's just every time I'm always doing something, and I want to join the conversation, and then I'm 5 minutes too late, and it's already on something else. And it's like,
I understand that.
But you can find me there, or you can find me on Instagram. You can definitely reach me on Instagram if I can remember what it is.
I can put it in the show notes later. Give it to me.
Just because I have so many social media accounts, they're all different. I just can't remember.
Brand identity, brand consistency, my friend.
I changed my identity over the past 2 years. It used to be Chosen One, and then it used to be Blazing Rain, my gamer tag, and now it's just my stage name, The Crow. So it could be The Crow 45. It's always 45 something.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I know what it is. It's World of JC.
Yeah, because that's exactly like the other one.
See the change. Okay, I'm finding myself as you can see. That's why I play Pale Moon. Okay, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I think I got one more to go, but I'll see you later.
All right, man.
Bye. So I'm here with Jared, and you are the last person I needed to record with. So thank you.
No problem. Save the best for last, obviously.
Clearly. Actually, I'm very interested to talk to you.
Really?
Because you went in with an unorthodox deck, a meta call essentially, to tackle Bermuda.
Right.
But we'll get to that in a second. First off, we're going to talk about kind of like the trip coming up and how long and grueling that was, and it took 12 hours, and toll roads were a thing.
I think we basically avoided most of the toll roads. We just got out for like a second.
We did, and we got very lucky.
Got that scenic route.
That was beautiful, actually. Driving.
Oh my god, yes. I was more wait for half that and taking more pictures and stuff because I love traveling and doing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going step behind traffic and the Trump parade that was being held in that one small town was very interesting.
Yeah.
But we made it. Thank goodness for Wendy's, because that's when we had Wendy's, and that was great. So yeah, that happened, and then we got in late Thursday night, and then Friday morning. What did you do?
In terms of waking up, or just
like, what did you do throughout the day? What did you do at night? Because Jordan and I could not remember what we did after we left the convention center. I don't think we did anything.
Yeah, I don't think we did. Like, my original plan, which I had been talking about all weekend, was, aside from being a Vanguard guy, I'm a huge coaster geek, so I wanted to try and go to some amusement parks and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, right by the center that we're at, there was actually a small boardwalk right there. Yeah. Which, not too big, just a couple of small rides, but I just wanted to go at some point to that. Mm-hmm. So, that whole weekend, I was just thinking, tonight I'll go do that night before we leave, but we were all just kind of rushing around in our cars, so I didn't really get there until Sunday, which is whatever.
Yeah. You still got to ride.
Yeah, I still got to ride. That's one part.
So we did that, and Friday night was a blur, and then we move on to Saturday morning.
The big day.
The big day. So what did you take to the event?
So I actually took, this is kind of a funny story how it started, but I went with Scarlet Witch Coco, which is not the main OTT deck, not Magus or whatever you call the Imperial Deer, whatever.
Imperial Deer.
Imperial Deer. But, so, ever since Premium way long ago, I've always liked Coco. It's been like my favorite version of OTT. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of built it as a fun deck when it came out standard. Turned out it was really good.
Yeah, it's a sleeper is what it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was a good meta call too, because how that deck works is it likes to accumulate protect gift markers and then just keeps them in their hand, and then Zozo's the one who gives the power for
I almost say it kind of plays like a semi-force deck, because you literally early game just amass that small army of your gifts with Coco skill, and then just kind of sit there with Zozo until they die. And the best part about that is because you just constantly have that power up, your field doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can play anything.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not wasting those protect gifts, then you're just going to keep on swinging for big numbers every turn.
Which is really interesting. And
Yeah, and it saves up your hand so you can just guard with whatever you need to.
Right, and I think it's a very clever way of working with the gifts.
Definitely.
So you did that, and what was your first round matchup? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think my first round was Shadow Paladins against the Gust Blaster version.
Easy peasy, right?
Yeah, pretty easy. I won the first game. Second game, I actually managed to deck them out, which is another thing that you do because, once again, you're just kind of stalling by doing literally nothing.
Yeah.
So against that and against like ODT, which I played later, you just stall them out and win.
You don't have to draw as much in yours.
No.
You just need your Coco, and then you need your Zozos, really, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, at times of this recording, we're just now learning about the end of the new Miyagi set.
Yeah, well, aerialation, something.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's the Miyagi set.
Liberation Steed, something.
But yeah. So the important part of that is, how everyone's getting their new version of the drop and draw perfect guard?
Mm-hmm.
The one for OTT is a witch, which means I can now run 12 critical triggers without even looking back.
Oh, right. With the thighs.
Right.
Right.
With the thighs.
With the thighs. What was her name again?
I don't know. My phone's off right now.
Oh, we got someone in the background who's going to look that up for us.
Yeah, but that and a couple of the new vanillas, like the 7k, 15 defense, and the 12k vanilla, both those are witch cards. So definitely want to experiment with those a little bit.
There were a lot of really cool cards in that set. So it is the Zaza?
Sounds right.
Oh, Battle Sister Ginger.
No, that's the Battle Sister. It's definitely a witch.
Ginger's new Lilac Witch BB? No.
I think it's Zaza.
That's a vanilla.
I remember it being a Z.
The Sentinel. I'm sorry. It is a Sentinel.
Yeah.
I was thinking the crit.
Yeah. The crit's leg days.
Oh, that's the Battle Sister.
That is definitely Ginger's thinking of the new critical trigger.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be running that because I can run 12 crits now.
Yeah. If only it was a witch, but still, Battle Sister Ginger, she's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay. So, first off, we didn't discuss why you decided to pick witches.
All right. So a little bit of a pressure thing on me. One thing about me is my locals. Everyone I've talked to basically knows me as the Gear Chronicle guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing it ever since Chrono Jet was announced in Japan, and that was my avatar, and bring him back Bushy Road. But so Gear Chronicle is like tier 7 billion. I'm trying every single thing I can with it, but
it's very high roller and not very consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was out. Besides that, I tend to play a lot of Axel decks, like Pale Moon, Narukami, Gold Paladins.
Yeah.
But none of those are really the best competitive deck. Like, they're a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. I love Pale Moon. I played Garmor instead of Ezreal, which actually has some Tsukiyomi like stacking skill, which is hilarious. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just found of the many things that I had built, that OTT Witches was probably my best bet for a competitive tournament.
Yeah, I think Narukami also would have had a bit of an uphill, not an advantage.
It does, but I haven't played that as much, and also I traded a certain someone my drills to get an Ultima a while back, so I had to pick those up again.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Okay.
That said, talking about Miyagi again, or whatever it's called, Gauntlet Buster, oh my god. Eradicators have always been my archetype. I cannot wait for my boy to come back.
Gauntlet. Yeah, people in our Discord have been just off the walls excited for that card.
I'm currently doing some thinking about the build for that, but I can't wait for Gauntlet Buster.
Yeah, I can't wait for that set. I'm excited for everyone else getting support in that set.
Oh no, definitely. It's a very good set for everyone.
It's so good, and all of the cards.
Even Gold Paladin having 5 cards. Those are 5 good cards.
Those are 5 really good cards.
Yeah, or 3 good cards and 2 triggers.
2 triggers,
which is also 2 new good cards.
It's more options. It's great. Yeah,
it's 1 12 fronts. That's probably good.
I don't know about the 12. Anyway. Okay, so round 2 then.
Alright, so round 2, let's see, that was that. I think round 2 was the OTT. No, that was round 3. Spoilers. So round 2 was actually against Murakumo, and that was one of my first 2 draws for the tournament.
Was that the same Murakumo that TJ ended up playing in top 4?
It's possible. I wasn't really watching that match because that's when we were
Yeah.
playing that one other game. But
A game that shall not be named.
yeah, until later. Yeah, he ended up getting first game. It was very long drawn out. I was facing the clock so I could kind of watch the time.
Yeah.
I think like he ended up getting me on a Zangeki turn when I had 2 triggers in hand, but that was like 25 minutes into the match. So very long drawn out game.
Hey, that's yeah.
Game 2, I was able to come back. I don't remember exactly how I played, but I remember it ending in time, and I won that one, so it was 1-1 draw.
Yeah. That's there were a lot of draws. Like, I drew against Aqua Force as well.
I had a really weird work that tournament.
And you drew again later on, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay, so round 4?
3.
3? Okay.
Well, 3 I already kind of talked about. That was the OTT,
OTT,
match.
yeah.
I was playing against Megases, and kind of like I was talking about before with the deck build, yeah, you could draft check 5 cards. You could check your top card and rearrange and get a deer or whatever. I have like 20 perfect cards in hand. You go ahead and deck yourself out.
Yes.
It's a little stally, it's a little cheap, but Witches wins every OTT match.
Which is really interesting, because I think the better OTT build is still Imperial, as of right now, Imperial.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, just the ability to, like,
Stack.
at any point in time, stack whatever they want.
Yeah.
And they have that amazing finisher in deer.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that it's so weird to me that it's such a good deck, but it's beat out by, no offense, but a lesser version of that deck.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. I think that's really cool. Okay, so round 4 then.
So that was round 3. Round 4, I think that was my first Kagura match. Yeah, because I had played Kagura. Ended up winning that one. I'm trying to remember the exact details, but it was your basic Overlord of the Great builds. It's still very grindy game because they have the ability to get 5 attacks now. They swing giant numbers. It's big scary dragons. But I think you have the ability to out-tempo them. It takes a little bit of effort, but you have the ability to like play your torts, the 8k that gets plus 10 to crit.
Yeah, the Battle Sister Tort.
Yeah, that provides pressure. I have a grade 3 in there that literally just gets power for every card in hands.
That's the
Bia.
Yeah, Oracle Guardian Bia.
Yes,
I think so.
yes.
Yeah.
And like you just have a couple random things like that. That you just have to know when to play them.
Right.
Because Kagura is obviously going to blow up your field.
Exactly. So, okay.
So yeah, I ended up winning that match.
And round 5, I think?
Yes. That was when things started going south for me. So I actually played against, I can't forget his name, he was one of the people from Team Absolution, the guy that plays Kagura.
Ryan Braxton? I don't know.
Possibly. He's the guy that has like the binder full of Doombringer Griffins that those people sign.
Brian, I don't know. Whatever.
It's possible. Whoever he is, shout out to that guy. Good job to him. But so he won the first game, which is cool. Whatever. Second game, and this was me at table 5, so like I was all the way up there.
Yeah.
I made an amazing display. So I had, I've told you about this before, but I had put in the day before. I'm trying to remember. It's like Omiyagi, Miko, whatever the grade 1 is.
Yeah, is a promo, right?
No, it's just a grade. It's just common.
Oh, is that? It's not the fishing one, is? No, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's the fishing one. It's the one that looks at your top 5.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, I put this in the day before. I hadn't really practiced it too much, and I completely misread its skill when I was playing against him. So for those of you that don't really recall this card, it's on place, pay the cost of the last one, then you check your top 5 for grade 3, put that on top of your deck, and take the other 4 cards that you saw, shuffle those, and put them at the bottom. I had assumed it was do the same thing, take your cards, grab the grade 3, then shuffle your deck, and stack those 4 at bottom. So, RTFC, he did, I did not. And because of that, I lost that game from game loss for irreversible game state, and he already won the first game, so that was a match loss.
Yeah.
So that was a fun time for me.
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then, we're on 6 now?
6. I think that was like my actual only Bermuda match.
Which is insane.
Yeah, because like out of how many were there? Like near 200 people. And top 8 was like
there's
basically
about 120.
Oh yeah, 120. I was thinking
a fourth of them were.
I was thinking the other
34,
game.
31. 30,
Yeah,
34.
Like out of all those people, with me at this point being like what 4-1, I think 3-1, something like that.
Yeah, because you had a tie.
3-1-1 because I had the one loss.
Oh,
yeah, like
okay.
pretty decent record, but like this late in the tournament, I'm now seeing Bermuda Triangle.
Which, they're bubbling up because, the best deck's got to rise. It's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a weird matchup for me. Like, usually against their normal plays, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they were playing, was it not the one that has the Baldor skill that makes you discard 2 every time you guard?
I know what that one is.
I'm trying to remember her name. Like, I keep on thinking
Cannon.
Cannon. I don't know why I thought it started with the C.
That's the grade 1.
No, the grade 3 version.
Well, yeah, sorry. No,
Yeah.
the one that starts.
Yeah, that was
starts
Cannon.
with the C, so it is Cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, whichever one it was. It's the black hair one. But yeah, so it has that skill, the Baldor skill, where you have to discard 2 cards every time you guard. Cool, I could do that for a turn, because once again, Giant Hand, lots of perfect guards.
Mm-hmm.
But then they do that multiple turns in a row, and they're still swinging giant numbers.
That's how they beat OTTs with that card.
Yeah, and they did that to me both games.
Yep.
So.
And they probably only ran like 1.
I think they ran 2 at least, because they saw it a lot.
Okay. So, I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better. They actually, like, prepared for it instead of just, I have one.
Either that, I just had amazing luck that exact round, but...
Hey, I had great luck too, my friend, that
right?
day. It was fantastic.
It was a good day. I got Warp Shark and then ran into, like, the one time Bermuda gives around my WinCon.
Yep. So, that was a loss for you. Was that game 7? 6?
6. So I had 2 more rounds after that.
So 7.
Right, so round 7, that was a fun round. I actually got to play against a version of Brant's that had the Deleter core in it.
Uh-huh.
So, Brant Deleter, I guess, would be what's called.
Yeah.
That's a fun deck. Like, it's not tier by any means. Deleter's very easy to get around with. You just ride grade 3s. And Brant is ridiculous mean. Like, it gets there, it's good. There's no way to counter a Brant deck other than just pass the turn and give them more cards in hand.
Right. Well, no, I mean, not necessarily.
I mean, just the concept itself for its skill.
Itself, yeah. If you attack rear guards.
Yeah.
And
well, you still drive check with your Vanguard.
You still, but you...
Which is the issue.
You're only worried about... I learned this from TJ when I was recording with him. You're really only worried about the heals. You don't necessarily care... Well, especially, I mean, for Bermuda specifically.
Yeah.
You don't really care about the crit because you're attacking the rear guard anyway, so you're not losing anything. You're just clearing the board. So
that makes sense. But I didn't end up beating them, though. I think the one... we went to game 3. I got the first game. They got the second game. Did their thing, and I like healed myself to death because that's what you do.
Yeah. You do.
Game 3, I was sitting at 4 damage for the longest time, just like guarding every single attack because I had 1 heal up in deck.
Oh.
Eventually, I did hit that heal, but that only put me to 5, so I was fine. I won after that.
That's smart. Well, I mean, smart, quote unquote.
I was basically just like, once I hit that 4 damage, I got super cautious and had to watch every single thing I was doing.
Interesting. Okay, so then your last game of the day. What was that against?
Angel Feather.
Angel Feather.
Another Protect matchup.
Alright, how'd that go?
That was a draw.
Oh, so you had...
I had 2 draws.
Oh, okay.
That was more or less the same situation as Murakuma, where very long first game where they eventually won because Mobile Hospital is a pretty good card.
Yeah.
And then game 2, I won in time.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's a draw. It's the point on the thing. It's better than a loss.
So, did you have to play around Hospital? Like, how did you play around Angel Feather? Or you just play normal and then...
More or less played normal. Like, the thing with Witches is it's a very aggressive deck. You do have your Zozo along with the grade 1 Witch, Rero, I think her name is.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, why not? It's Rero. So they both have a skill that on hit or on boost, you can blast 1, either Shovel or Soul, or do whatever the cost is for that particular one, and draw a card. So in order to make your giant hands and never have to worry about your protect gifts, you're drawing cards a lot.
Right.
So it is a very aggressive deck. You do want to swing at the Vanguard a lot because of that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, basically, I was constantly watching that damage zone and drop zone for the hospital, knowing when I wanted to push those.
Right.
And if I ever saw anything that looked remotely threatening on the board, I'd just go after that instead of after the Vanguard.
Yeah, it makes sense. Don't give them unnecessary damage.
Like I said, it's a very grindy, very long game, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Thank God I don't have that deck anymore. It was fun
Same.
to play, but I hated going into time.
Didn't I sell it to you, actually?
No.
I gave it to someone a long time ago.
It was not me.
Because I like Celestials, but my girl's Remiel, not Zerachiel. I don't care. That's pretty much the only logic I'm going off of that.
I really like Gabrielle, but
yeah. I know, the rest of the deck's super fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I love the idea of Angel Feathers. It just turns into a grind fest, and I'm not
Definitely.
about. Ugh. Okay, so at the end of the day, what was your record?
I was 4-2-2 because I had 4 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. Yeah, I messed everyone up. It was great.
4-2-2. Okay.
I think I was in like 42nd place overall.
40 something. I know that.
It was high 40s.
That's a heck of an achievement for going in with quote unquote non-competitive. Well, it could be competitive, but like not like a broken deck. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was good. Like I feel like if I would have won one of those draws, or maybe not made the misplay and somehow managed to win that, I would have been like somewhere in the 20s, which would have been super awesome. But that's still like probably one of my best showings at a major event like this.
It was.
So I'm proud of it.
It was really good. So what do you think you could have done better? And we're like play tested against more different decks, or just reading your cards better.
That's one of them. Yeah, I was gonna say, especially for the Miko, since I did that the day before, I was trying to go around and play test that, but everyone was trying to play Argent Saga instead, so I literally got like a game with that and barely won the card. So that would have been helpful if I could have done a little more testing and gotten used to that.
Yeah.
Before I had that in, I was running the Core Magus, the one that lets you check your top 2. But I found she just wasn't doing as much as besides the first turn ride, so I decided to take her out for that.
Excuse me.
So I've been running like 10 grade 3s in that build.
Interesting. Okay. Alright, so that happened, and congratulations, by the way, 40-something.
Thanks.
Is a pretty big achievement. You were in the top third of that event.
It counts.
It definitely counts. Definitely counts. Okay, so Sunday.
Sunday was Argent Saga Day.
Sunday
for
was
everyone.
Argent Saga Day. Sunday was the day. The 10K tournament. What did you play first?
So I played red with Green Spirit because that's a bunch of dragons and air pirate things, and I thought that was the closest thing I could find to Gear Chronicle.
A pirate dragon.
They're like steampunk air pirates.
Ish, yeah.
Kind of. So we basically were playing this game for like that weekend before we went into 10K.
Yeah, we about half of us in that group had never played before. So we learned Friday and Saturday, and then we got paired up against people who had already been playing for a very long time. Got destroyed, dropped essentially, right? I
made it to round 3.
my only win
I made it, air quotes.
My only win was a bye.
Yeah.
So,
I actually got to play one of the people in our group. So I played against Jojo that second round.
Oh, yeah, you guys were playing, and then I went with TJ to get pho. Well, you guys were playing. I told you to tie, even though I know you couldn't.
I just wanted to do the match just to see how I did.
Yeah.
Kind of, because we were just basically playing at a same level of comprehension anyways. Might as well go all out and try to win.
Right.
And I won that game, so that was cool.
So was that that was a fun match?
Yeah, that was basically a fun match.
Yeah.
Between the 2 super pros I had to play against. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so first round, what did you play against? Do you remember?
I remember third rounds. It was something with the white spirits.
Was it red white? Black
no,
white?
It wasn't. It might have been black white. Yeah, because I remember the golem.
I played
the one that just brings itself back and it's like an infinite wall.
Yeah.
That's a fun card.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my thing about Argent Saga right now is super amounts of respect for ARG for making their own card game. Like,
Yeah.
as a designer myself, I'm always willing to test out this kind of thing. ARG has been this company that's been running the circuit for I don't even know how long, outside of like having the store that it's a major retailer for all card games. So like, good on them for creating their own game and actually following through and getting it to this point.
Right.
That said, don't do a major tournament with like near 300 people that half the people don't know how the game works.
For such a high amount of dollars, like a $10,000 tournament, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, and it's not fun for a game that hasn't even been out yet.
Yeah,
It's
like they're still in their Kickstarter right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go and it ends tomorrow or tomorrow.
So at the time of this recording, it's on Kickstarter, but by the time this podcast goes live, they probably won't be.
Yeah, it'll be over. But the set's coming out anyway. I'm pretty sure they met their goal, right?
They've probably made it like 10 billion times sold.
Yeah, okay.
They did good.
Well, that
marketing's good.
Ooh, interesting. So
yeah. So good on the game, but like they just need to work out some of the kinks on it. I think, like especially end of round procedures were extremely confusing. They had like 20 different end of game things that are you guys tied? Then this happens.
And if you're still tied there, then this goes into this.
Yeah,
but,
like
I feel
5 billion different ways that you could lose the game.
I don't know if we needed to know that right at the beginning of the event, right at the beginning of the tournament.
No.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So, what do you think about the game in general?
I mean, I'm glad to give it a chance. Like I said, I think we just went in at a very low understanding of the game.
Oh yeah, we did. Okay.
And it's gonna take further testing.
We went on a tangent before.
Yeah.
But
I won't repeat whatever anyone else has said about it. Yeah. That being said, I have no clue what everyone else said about it except the last one here.
These are so sporadic, I don't even remember right now.
Yeah.
But, so...
Yeah, it's an interesting game. Like, I think I ended up, after the event, switching my spirit and my thing around, so now I'm green with a red splash. So I found a combo that's, like, one of the red cards comes out basically for free if one of my guys is destroyed. And green has a way to destroy its own cards to bring out better cards every turn.
Oh.
So I've looking into that combo a little bit.
I know that dragon.
Yeah.
Came in handy.
Sure did.
Came in handy.
Yeah, so I'm trying that out now, but I haven't really played too much of the game since the event, so...
Yes, correct.
We'll see how that works.
But, like, we were going by before, it's hard to become interested in a game when you're playing against people who have been playing since day one.
Yes.
And they just shut your stuff down, and it is just oppressive, and it's not fun, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. But I need to
and like they even had like those the 5 bounty people that had like these extra prizes for beating or whatever. But yeah, that's not a good way to introduce hundreds of people to the game.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But I appreciate the effort.
Exactly, and like I like how they had their demo area going throughout the whole time. Yes. They teach people a game. They had little mini tournaments that were like you just blindly get a starter deck and play with that.
Yeah,
and so that was cool.
Yeah, and that's when I learned that I really like blue.
Fair enough.
Blue is a fun. Well, not to JoJo. It was not fun to JoJo. Because
blue is literally blue in any other game. You just draw cards and counter cards.
Oh boy, do you! Yeah.
I'm a red player. I like to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes have time traveling dragons.
As you do.
As you do.
And take extra turns and whatnot.
Yes. I like premium.
Okay, so any other thoughts before, like on the ARG event in total, or are you killing me, Jordan?
Ignore the phone. Yeah, it was fun. Like I said, this is like I think my third Nats I've been to for ARG. So I went to one once in Philly that I almost made day 2 on. That's a story for another day. And I went to one in Florida a couple years ago where I absolutely got trashed and I got super sad about it. But whatever, this is probably either this or Philly. It's probably my better performance game wise. Because like I said, Philly I almost made day 2. I was like a win away from hitting that top 16. I think.
I think if you hadn't tied, you probably would have been as well.
Yeah, there was a good chance of me getting that, or at least like top 20, which is still pretty good. Yeah, awesome venue. Like I loved it being right on the boardwalk. It was really open space that they were able to put a bunch of stuff in. Yeah. Clearly announce everything over the mics, and it was like for the most part, it was well organized. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't like how Vanguard was in like the back of it and we couldn't hear everything was saying, but other than that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, do you think you would go back to another ARG event in the future then?
Big question mark.
Big question mark.
I would love to. Like I said, I've done this several times in the past, so more than likely I will. But I think just with the way that I'm sure everyone's told you their horror stories of their organizational skills.
Yeah.
Which once again, they're running like 10 billion different things, so good on them for doing what they can. Just
and honestly,
work out your kinks.
It was not as bad for.
Yeah, this event wasn't that bad. I don't think
compared to the indie. You went to indie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I bubbled you into. That's how you get.
That's right.
Everyone on the podcast. This is how Cole got his invite to indie.
Thank you.
We were both playing premium. We had the exact same record, but somehow his 2 buys were 1 point ahead of my 2 wins. Not salty at all or anything, but it's just hilarious.
Like with Mike the Shipwright.
With Mike the Shipwright. And I'm staying there with premium MLB OTK people.
You were bringing the heat, and I'm over
it was so much fun.
I'm doing my little things, and I'm like, I'm gonna call my little.
I'm just sitting here like, you see geese?
Take another turn. Take another turn.
No, that wasn't Gear Chronicle. I was just OTKing people.
Wait, sorry.
I geese before geese.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, standard MLB, cool. Premium MLB, I have like 20 different blasters in that deck. Let's go.
That's where the money's at, is from the premium MLB.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna end it here. Where, if you want people to reach you, how would you like them to be? How would you like to be reached? There we go.
I guess so. Right now, like I said briefly, I am working on a couple of games, which I'm not gonna go into that. You guys could find out later. But so what I'm going under for that right now is Skyridge Games, and I'm mainly on Facebook. I do have a Twitter and a YouTube step as well, but I think I'm just mainly on Facebook. So that is like I said, at Skyridge Games, SKYRIDGE Games.
Yeah.
Probably spell games. Yeah.
Hopefully.
And on Twitter, it's apparently Games Skyridge. I don't know how it got backwards, but that's whatever. Like I said, mainly on Facebook, but I am trying to be a little bit more constant on there too. Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining me, sir. Thank you
pleasure.
for bubbling me in to actually go to this event.
Also that. Hopefully I can do that again another time. Or whatever circuit we go to.
I appreciate that. Okay. So I'm going to sign out, and thank goodness that's the last one. I'd like to thank all of my guests, and I'll do like a proper outro later when I'm done recording. So
then who does the card text? That's you always.
I don't know if I'll do it this week. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still feeling it, because this is probably going to be the episode for this week.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Gotta be a long episode.
You're telling me. I still got to edit it. Okay. All right. I'm going to close it here.
All right.
Once again, I'd like to thank all of the people who joined me and letting me interview them for this episode. As a lot of information, a lot of things happened that weekend, a lot of different viewpoints and whatnot. So hopefully you guys like this. In the future, we'll see about doing more of these event stuff, and eventually I'd like to do like a vlog or something during the main event as well. Just to have something to throw up on our YouTube channel, kind of showing like a video, I don't like compilation of everything that we've done. I don't know. A lot of thoughts for Drive Check going forward. But yeah, we'll just close from here. If you could please take a minute and give us a review on iTunes, that would be greatly appreciated. It definitely helps. Also, if you're not in the United States, if you could take a screenshot of the review that you left, or just the reviews in general from your country's iTunes, and send it to our email, which I'll give later on, that would be greatly appreciated, because that way we can read it out online, or maybe not online, on the air, and that way we can hear what other people's feedback is, because feedback is what makes this a better podcast. Also, thank you to Zach Boydis and Jeremy Woods for the music. Zach Boydis did the intro and Jeremy Woods the outro. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/drivecheck. If you want to give us money to help us fund this podcast, because podcasting is not cheap. A little known fact there. So every little bit of money actually helps us with hosting fees and purchasing new equipment and whatnot. It's also how I'm going to be able to afford renewing my Adobe license coming up, which I'm not looking forward to. Our YouTube channel as well. If you could subscribe there, that would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully, as soon as things clear up, probably after Gen Con, just because my time right now is so small. But after Gen Con, I'm planning a lot more things on the YouTube. I'll bring in a lot more of my local people, doing a lot more stuff, different games as well. Not all Vanguard, but I need to plan that out with some people and see what we can do. But there's some stuff coming to the YouTube channel. Also, I do post the podcast, just like a straight audio rip, onto the YouTube channel. So if your friends want to listen but don't like listening on podcast apps and they have like YouTube Music or whatever, you can go ahead and give it to send them the link to our YouTube page. Let's see. Our email is drivecheckpodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and send any emails, questions, concerns, feedback, whatever you want, within reason, to our email. And if you want us to read it on the air, we'll read it by default. But if you don't want us to read it, just in the title, just say don't read it on air. Simple as that. And on Twitter, I am the podcast is at @drive_check. Will is at @wash-in-the-sink. Jack is at drive_jack. It's been a while, but yeah. I am at Cole_McCune, COLE_MCCUNE. And actually, if you guys are going to Gen Con, before I forget, we are running a couple different events. I can never remember what is on what day, but there's a standard event, a standard tournament, a premium tournament, and then we also have a panel. The panel's free. The other two tournaments you have to pay for, unfortunately. However, we don't get the money from that event. That's just to rent out the space. So the larger the space, the more money entrants have to, in order to get a ticket, the more money you have to pay, unfortunately. So we're trying to make the prize support for these tournaments more than worth the $10. So there's that. But yeah, it would be greatly appreciated if you're going to sign up and compete. It'd be a lot of fun. There's a lot of people that I know are actually going to be there. So it's going to be a really good time. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to close out now. Thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode of the Drive Check Podcast. Round and round, both the stars and destiny move in cycles. And that is Nebula Witch No. It's a stand trigger, an Oracle Think Tank, GB1, Soul Blast 1. At the end of the battle that this unit boosted, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. Return this unit to your deck and shuffle your deck. So, it's a returning stand trigger. It's pretty neat. Alright, I am done. I wish I had a face cam going right now. Go ahead, get it over with. It'll be fine. Tell Bella we're recording while we're waiting. gotta be like the finale, right?
Yeah, about to say it.